because there you go. What do you know?
It all depends on how you press the red button.
Gotcha.
Well, we're live, you know.
Well, I know we are, but we aren't visible, so there.
Welcome to the Corey and Lori show. It is time.
'Tis time
for a stream.
And it is
an extreme stream.
Or stream of consciousness. Anyway, you need to be this way. Yes. That way, we have to cuddle up, and our chairs get to cuddle, and they don't feel good together. They don't like each other. Oh well.
I guess use a gaming chair. Yes. It's time to get lost in your maze.
Ah, okay. Oh, yes, it is, indeed.
We have entitled this Hero's Victory, which means that we intend to emerge victorious.
That we intend to finish the game after all this time.
And what are the odds?
Not very good.
I might get in combat and then I'll die because I'm not very good at it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. We are well for a change for a while.
Hooray!
That will not last long, I'm sure. There will be no stream in 2 weeks because we'll be out of town and out of country.
I've got lights in my eyes, so we should replace it with a fan.
I see. Well, that would be the wrong one to replace. Would not work well. Any rate, yes, we have a brand new house layout.
As someone said, instead of streaming, we'll be live streaming.
Live streaming on the stream.
Going up the River Danube. Now,
last week was the fact our house was torn apart and there were people here working.
Yeah, we can show you how much house we have here. Basically, it's this room.
Yes.
We have a couple desks, and we do have a...
We have a bowling alley for a living room.
Yeah, we have a bowling alley of a living room. It's 40 feet long and nothing in it.
Yes, except some trash from the
That's not
people
quite
workers.
long enough for a bowling alley. It has to be 120 feet long.
Oh, well. Right. But it could be a reasonable, almost any other sport, actually.
Hey, Siri, how long is a bowling alley?
Yes. Yes.
A bowling alley is 60 feet long.
Pretty close. Pretty
this
close.
Answer.
We're pretty close to a bowling alley
there. There you go. We could use
If we use the kitchen, maybe?
Yeah, if we use the kitchen, yes.
I mean, the kitchen door.
Yes, a certain waltz, which will always be linked with discussing that specific river. Yes, indeed. Are you able? We stayed and slept at the house, but we had to get up at 7 in the morning because people who work in construction get up early in the morning, even when they're driving for 2 hours or an hour and a half to get here. They're still here at early morning.
So once upon a time, I was a math major at University of California, Santa Barbara.
You do math.
College of Creative Studies. Well, it wasn't so much that as rather than doing math, I spent all my time submitting computer decks to the IBM 36075, and then later on working on the was it Aristus E system? Working on a chain gang, according to Lori. She went off for a cloth. And has decided to dust her desk, I guess.
No, I spilled the tea. Tea got knocked.
Spilled the tea, no!
No.
Anyway, back then, if you ran a computer job during the day, it took you about 2 to 4 hours to get it back, as they had to work around all of the administration, grades and finances and so on jobs. But if you came in the middle of the night, you could basically get instant turnaround, 10 to 20 minutes. You would get your cards back, if that. And so like many aspiring programmers, I spent all my nights in the computer room and adjusted my, I had an 8 a.m. Economics class that I pretty nearly flunked because I always showed up late. Or just exhausted. So that has stayed with me, and now 45 years later...
He still can't do economics.
I still can't do economics. And I still get to bed at 1 or 2 in the morning every morning. Okay. And then the workmen come in at 7 a.m. and sleep is for the week.
So yes, that is our life right now. It has been chaos for 5 weeks so far.
And this morning I got woken up at the crack of 9:05 by a text message from my son.
Right, so, we're living the hard life.
Cooking at home, mostly. We've managed to... We had a few days where the kitchen was inaccessible, but mostly the kitchen has been accessible.
Yes.
Yes, 9:05 is very early.
Well, at least it's at a reasonable time.
7 or 7:30, even.
Yes.
It's just unimaginable.
Right.
Actually, I usually wake up at 6 or 6:30 when the sun comes up, and especially when we didn't have any curtains.
Yeah. Yes, I think some people just aren't meant to be morning people, being one of those who have great disdain for the early hours. Ditto, ditto. That has always been my life. I don't have the
Just
fact
have
I
my
had
excuse.
a nighttime job excuse. No, I always gravitated this way. So it's just, we were born this way, obviously.
Yep.
I figured there are, it goes into personality types like if you do the Myers-Briggs, the idea that sensory people are the ones that get up in the morning, and the intuitive people are the ones who tend to stay up at night. So it's just a personality.
Someone posted on Facebook yesterday the listing where Ken and Roberta sold their mountain cabin back in 2019.
Ooh.
That was no cabin.
Yeah.
That was a mansion.
By our
A
standards.
huge completely fenced in property, and
Their property
on
was.
Griffin Drive, and Griffin
is
Drive
that the
was
mountain cabin, or is that 2019?
2019 was
Was the one on
was
Griffin
was
Drive?
their home on Griffin
Oh
Drive.
my God, that was a monster. Yes.
Which of course Griffin Drive was named by Roberta.
So they were the first people to build into that
Yeah, they were
community.
yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
It built up around them after that.
There was a community named Goldside there that was a little bit lower end. It was more working person community.
Eventually.
Except for about 2 or 3 mansions there.
No, the mansions were further back, so then they
Yeah, they weren't technically
they
in
put in
Goldside.
a housing unit in front of them, which probably pissed off the mansion people from behind. Yeah.
We've passed on a hello silly people by naming collision and a hello Coles how are you by
Yes.
Bears Who Care.
Yes. The irony is humanity collectively is good at being global in terms of optimum time of activity, and then modern work culture says, nope, 9 to 5, suck it up. Exactly, suck it up. That has been the stories of our lives, being told to suck it up.
Well, our late night
Especially if you're
hours
a
worked
woman.
out nicely when we were working with teammates from Australia and New Zealand,
Yep.
because our late evening for them was mid-afternoon. For us was their mid-afternoon.
Yeah, it was described in the listing as a mansion. Yes, it would be a mansion by anybody else's determination, but it's a cabin if you're going to talk about your place, yes.
There's a cabin and all the game. Okay, now they did have a redwood on the side of Mudge Ranch, somewhere in Mudge Ranch, off Mudge Ranch Road, that had the deck with the infamous / famous hot tub that was used in the cover
that wasn't the
of
same
Software
place?
Adventure.
They
No.
had 3 houses in that area? Okay.
Yes, they had that one, and then they sold that and bought the one
They bought the Mega
between
Manster.
Oakhurst, between Oakhurst and
And then when they lost all that
Remember
cash,
the
they had
money.
to eventually sell that house, and then with the proceeds of...
but then they made some money again, and so they bought a house with a dock on Bass Lake.
Yes, right on the lake, which is a really beautiful lake. So they had a great house.
And it was just a nice house, but it was a wonderful location.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
it was a good house by anybody else's standards. Not a mansion, though.
Not a mansion.
It did not have a bowling alley in the basement or whatever it had.
They had, I think, a paddleball court,
Okay.
something like
They
that.
had
in
some
the
sort of
basement,
sports.
yeah.
Yes, we are well, as we said for change.
And they did have a big fire there one time because Ken had so many video games plugged in that he overwhelmed the...
In that house, the
Yes.
Bass Lake house?
No.
In the mansion's
In the
house.
mansion, yeah.
The Mega Mansion.
The Mega Mansion, the Mac
Almost
Mansion.
got fried, huh? Okay. All right.
You call it a back mansion because that's generally the disparaging term for
Oh,
nouveau riche people
right.
building
The
completely
one that they
impractical
sold in
houses.
2019 sounds it was like Maniac Mansion or someplace.
Not really.
It was
We
built.
never
They
went-
built it, I think, because
Yeah,
it
they built
was
it.
custom.
Yeah, it was custom. They built it.
Not quite Lord British era of customization, because he
Yeah.
built a castle,
Yeah, he built a manor house effectively.
a manor house, and it had
Secret
mazes
passages and stuff, yeah.
that. So yeah, everybody wants to live in his house.
Yeah. So the Williams one was just gigantic.
Okay, so that was that.
Whereas we had a house in Ahwahnee, which is near Oakhurst that we called the Flying Aardvark Ranch, and it was on lots and lots of land, isolated from all the neighbors. But the house itself was, manufactured metal sidings, painted yellow,
and was not quite up to mansion standards.
No, it was not up to mansion standards.
But we did have privacy.
Yes.
We had a lot of privacy. We never locked our doors. We never bothered. There was no point in it, since if anybody was going to come
somebody
in.
with a time machine will go back and rob us.
No, well, yeah,
There's
good luck.
nothing
Good
worth stealing.
luck, yes. You built a time machine, it'll cost you more to build that time machine than you would get off of stealing all of our stuff to bring back to the future and sell on eBay for millions of bucks, you know?
Yeah, they might get thousands of dollars
Yeah,
for some of the original box games.
Indeed. But you're still not going to make it back.
And they could find the backup floppies that I had that were not quite registered with Sierra.
Correct,
so
and then you could steal a computer too, so you could actually run it, and then you could get all the source code, and then you could just do this instead of
the deck and the lake and the hot tub. Okay, so I don't know if did they have a hot tub in Bessie?
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. Okay, that was a medium size. It was probably between 2,000 and 3,000 square feet. A couple stories.
Yes, I would say 3,000 square feet.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
It was big, but it was
big, but it was practical.
It didn't have big rooms.
Yeah.
And it was 2-story, and it was in a small, there were about 8 other
five or six, homes in their little
community.
miniature community. Yep.
And they actually put a gate on it eventually. It wasn't gated initially, but then they gated it because all of the tourists...
People kept pulling off there to park in their driveway. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Probably no basement.
We never got a tour of that place.
We did go into one room of it.
Yes.
We were in the
I
kitchen or the dining room?
I was in the main area because they took photography. They did shots for that.
And we had a photo shoot out on their landing.
Yes.
Their balcony overlooking
So that
the lake.
was it.
But I sincerely doubt it had a basement since it was right next to the lake.
Yeah.
Basement would not have been practical.
But it was kind of on the edge, so it could have been on a multi-story, so that you could effectively get 3 stories because it was built up on the rocks.
I don't know.
So who knows?
Somebody must go on the multi-listing service and work their way back and find it.
Yeah, so that would have been sold 90.
When they left?
96, yes, 96 or 97.
Mid-90s. Mid to late 90s.
Yeah. But, yes, indeed.
Anyway, but our house is virtually a new house again because we have new fresh paint on the walls. You can see it behind us. Look at that shiny, clean wall. That is a color called Apricot Whisper that Lori picked out. Our ceilings are white. All these homes in the 60s were built with what they called popcorn ceilings, which were textured. And one problem was that many of them were built with asbestos. This one was not, but it collects dust.
Yeah, even in the 70s they were using asbestos in that stuff. I know because I played with it once.
You played with the asbestos?
Yeah.
And she's had genetic defects ever since.
I actually considered using it for, if you put your hands into a goop of it, your hands look like zombies, with textured zombies. So it was really very cool. I thought of using that for a Halloween costume because we were doing a haunted house. But eventually I found out it was toxic, so then it was like, oh, so I put that on my hands. Blah.
So my toxic story was the company my father co-owned, was an executive of in Los Angeles, was in a place in near the movie studios in Century City kind of area. But someone broke in one day and stole a bunch of office equipment.
And it was being used to manufacture monitors.
Yeah, they were
They
making computer monitors with CRT tubes back then, and some of them had built-in keyboards as well. And they took a bit of office equipment, decided they really couldn't use anything else, so they found this stuff called toluene in big 5-gallon cans and poured it. Maybe it was 2-gallon cans, whatever. Poured it all over the furniture and stuff and set it on fire. So my father said, "Oh well, we can find out who broke in, because all you have to do is call around the local hospitals and find out who suddenly has lung problems from inhaling toluene, which is extremely volatile and toxic."
So there was probably divine retribution, or at least retribution, to that act of vandalism.
Whereas he didn't tell me that when I was working, helping out on the assembly line and using the toluene to wash printed circuit boards to get the flux off them.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
I've had asthma the rest of my life. So.
Yeah, clearly it comes down to that.
Yep.
Okay. Yes.
It's
So
like
there's, yeah.
our friends who worked at Rome Corporation all came down with multiple sclerosis.
That was
and
not
those-
probably.
It might have been. They
No,
also,
because Jim came down with it. He didn't work there, and
Oh.
he lived in Cincinnati. They all came
they all
down.
came from Cleveland.
They all came from Cleveland. So yes.
So maybe they all got sick because of toxic chemicals in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh well. Learning the story of popcorn ceiling stucco style.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be insulating. I mean, a noise reduction and
Yeah.
things like that.
I mean, we definitely have echoes in here.
That's because we don't have any carpet here.
We have no carpet anymore. All the carpet is gone.
Yes.
Because we're trying to help my asthma. And our living room, if I
Echoes,
if I talk or
echoes.
sing in there, it definitely
I mean,
very
even
very
here,
resonant.
It's very resonant right now.
It's like a concert hall.
Right. I mean, just here we're getting a lot of resonance.
This is a fraction of what we get in the living room.
Yes.
But
it's a fraction of that room. So really.
Yep. This is the little space. We're in the middle of the room. That's why we're close to the wall here. All right. Those are all the stories of that, and that brought us to time to play a game.
It is time to play a game.
Because I got nothing actually to say.
Well, we didn't have a whole lot to catch you up on because there
did.
wasn't a lot
Well,
that
we
happened.
skipped last time, so we ought to have a lot.
I know, but don't know.
Oh, I hope we can find the box that our travel stuff is in. Yeah, we have probably a suitcase in some box.
Yes, we'll have to find a
or
thing.
underneath these shelves. I didn't find the bathroom scale. I looked for it.
I know
It
it's
might be in a
right
drawer.
there.
Oh, is it? It's not in the
Yes,
drawer.
it's not in a drawer. I know exactly where it is.
And the hooks that we had our measuring cups and spoons on no longer fit in a usable place in the kitchen. So we have
Right,
to do
so
something
the
like that.
kitchen has to be redesigned again.
Lori was waxing poetic, screaming at the kitchen.
Yes.
She made
Trying to cook.
made us some tacos earlier today.
Yeah, but it's not a very big kitchen, and now with appliances that I really wanted, it doesn't fit. Yes. We got rid of our toaster.
I don't know about Lake Erie. There was a river in Cleveland, and our friend Jim told us the story of the actually brilliant way that either the EPA or
Yeah,
local governments
EPA,
did it. And that was this lake was constantly running brown with sewage and slush and runoff from the different factories along it. So what they did is they went up the river and found the last clear spot in the river, and then they found the company that had its manufacturing plant just below that, and told them you need to clean this up or you're going to have massive fines. Or maybe they actually fined them.
Actually find them
and
for
said,
a massive amount
and
of
then
money.
so these fines are going to get worse until you clean it up. And pretty soon, the river was clear for another 50 or 100 feet. And they went down to the next company, and they just worked their way down the river that way. And eventually, you could no longer walk in the river, and the river no longer caught fire.
Yes, what do you know?
I don't know if that was Cleveland. I don't know the name of the river.
Yeah.
But it wasn't actually Lake Erie.
No.
Cuyahoga River, that may be the one.
Right. Yes, the fact it could catch on fire with all that
So that
stuff.
was actually kind of brilliant.
Yes.
And they could go to a specific company and say, you may not be responsible for all the pollution downstream, but you're responsible for this stretch.
Yeah. It was a good way of doing it. The Coles inspired me to travel the world. It feels surreal sending them off on their first trip. Yes, exactly. But we will have pictures. I will bring my camera. Yeah.
It's actually not quite our first trip because in 2019, 2019, just before the pandemic hit, our son talked us into going to visit Barcelona. And we spent a Christmas
Christmas in Barcelona.
in Barcelona.
Which was a pleasant you know,
It was a lot of fun.
California temperatures outside. It was a little warm.
And then about 6 months later, we went to London for a show that was basically, indie games show. And that was completely zoo. I think the conference was completely worthless to us. But we got to spend a few days in London. And we went through Paris on a brief trip to visit one of our backers in the Black Forest in Germany.
Yeah. So that was very cool. We got to actually see where Quest for Glory should be set.
I think it was Freudenstadt.
Yeah, that was
Happiness City.
Happiness City. Oh, okay.
Joy City.
Joy City. That would have been perfect to put Spielberg right there.
Yeah, near Freudenstadt. And that was a lovely area too. We had a great time there.
Yes.
So
yes,
we've
we have
traveled a little bit.
Yes, that was our extent. That was
we spent a week on that 2 weeks total on those two trips.
Yes.
This one we're going on a 2-week trip that is costing us an arm and a leg and a couple eye teeth, and then clever me, having gotten advertisements from them, I said, okay, yeah, let's do this again in the fall, and we're going to Ireland in the fall.
Yes.
So
we'll get all of our vacationing out while we still can.
This is our year of blowing through our inheritance.
Yes, indeed. But it's been a rough 4 years, so,
we deserve it.
We deserve it, yes.
May have so much fun that we'll never do a game again, but...
If you could remake Quest for Glory 1, would it have the same charm with modern glass?
Absolutely.
I believe
Actually,
so.
It would have a different charm, but it would have charm.
Yes, exactly. It would have a different charm. I mean, it wouldn't be much improved over the remake, because the remake did a good job of using the resources at the time. I did not care for, say, Baba Yaga's house or Rasmus's house. I thought they lost the charm of the first one with the art revisions, but we would have a goblin maze, yes, if we had done that, yes.
Well, if we have
he says it's time to be a hero. Yes, indeed. Let us actually start running the game while he's right.
I'll have less shade without... Oh, I'll have a bright reflective scalp.
Yes. You don't want to blow the
I'll
camera.
just put this up pretty high.
Yes, that's it.
There we go. I'm just looking at all these shadows in my face.
I got the shadows down here that make me look
obviously, we need some side lighting.
right. Oh, well.
Have
Well,
side
you
lighting.
know what could happen.
But turn off the overhead.
Yeah.
All right. What does that do?
Now you have side
It
lighting.
makes it more natural.
Yes. It's a
little
little
darker,
dim, but it's
little
more natural.
There's definitely some shadow. You get a shadow on the wall.
Zara looked much different in the
Solid
remake
sunshade.
versus the first. Yes, very different. The character design was slightly different on all the characters. I still need to play the first version. Only played the remake. It's a different experience. I will tell you. It's not the same kind of game when you're playing the parser game. It's totally different. At any rate, start running the game is what
Let's
I was
start
trying
running
to
the
say.
game. So I will run GOG Galaxy.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think that's what we've been using.
Okay. GOG Galaxy. I didn't know it was
Oh, it
GOG.
wants me to update
Oh, of course it does.
later.
Yes.
Okay, let us run Heroes Quest. You want to be here? I'll put this up on the desktop.
Not for long. I mean, I will lose it in a second, so.
Where'd it go?
What? That's it.
Oh, I have to click something. Play.
How about
I
that?
click the play button.
Okay.
I'm kind of leaning to get to the mouse here. I'm going to have to get bigger, and then you won't fit anymore.
Right.
We are on the EGA version, Heroes Quest.
Cool. It's actually working for a change.
The software you are now using was produced through the efforts of many people. And we're continuing our quest right where we left
Bug
off.
going up the. Technically, a scorpion is not a bug, so it is
Yep.
it is not quite the game it should be.
Yorick Maze.
There we go.
Okay, I guess you're going to have to play this because I can't reach it.
Yeah.
Oh, I first start by turning down the volume.
Yes, first things first.
Sound volume.
Is that good for you?
You guys hear okay? Does that sound good?
Yeah, you got it all batch filed up. We do, because otherwise...
Oh, so it's right next door. I'll go set up the secret room for your escape. Me!
Me has fled the room.
Okay, which way should we go? I don't remember this maze.
Oh, good.
Well, we could go through this side door with the cute little happy faces. You feel disoriented. Wait, come out there. Let's pull the chain. Oh, that opened that door. How does he do this? Oh, I fell off.
I say yes. Roller derby.
Well, let's see. I could pull the chain again.
You
That's
could
our
go
secret
through the
entrance.
door. You could go back. We could do this a lot of times.
Yeah, we probably will.
That's a great animation, Cherry. It was so good. Ah, yes.
There's an echo in here. Echo in here.
Keep in mind you lose health. Yes.
Oh, are we losing our health?
Well, go check our character sheet.
Control C. No. Alt C? No. Control. Character sheet. Control S. We have 77 out of 92 health. We can do this a fair number of times still.
Which we will wind up doing, yes.
Alright, I'm going to have to use the diagonal keys in order to get this to work.
Ah.
MC Escher would love this place. Well, of course, the text throws you off. Nope, it closed again. So I step directly across the side here. That worked.
You haven't gone across the other one either.
Nope. I think I should stop doing that and not use up all my health.
No, you should.
Not now. Stop. You have to do it quickly? Is that the key? Nope, I can't walk down there.
The irony of Sierra developers not knowing how to use their diagonal keys. Diagonal?
Okay, enough fooling around.
We haven't looked at the box or any of the other interesting
What box?
things.
Where?
The thing that says box there.
Okay.
I gotta pull something there, clearly.
Look at box. There's a button next to the box. Oh, okay.
Can you push the button from here?
Push button. Get closer.
Of course, yes.
Now, can I step off here?
Ah, for some reason, typing Rob will stop you from moving. That sounds like a programmer thing.
It's getting old. Okay, did we manage to make it to the box before? Yes, we did.
Uh-huh.
Just can't step in that thing. Push button. Bop! Somebody said Control C erases it. Remember that from a previous stream.
Ah, very good.
Okay, what's that little red door like? We can get there. See if I could just click and move. Oh, look, you can. Look at red door. Open red door. Oops, you thought this door led somewhere. Ah, there's a wall behind the door. So it doesn't do any good to open it.
What is that red thing, though?
The red thing, I don't know what it is. Look.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's not important.
Look at room.
Look around.
Around it.
Room.
Loot it room.
What room?
You said loot. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. You can right-click on it to look at it. What?
What? That's a VJ.
That's not it.
That's another door. A pet door? It's sure than you are.
Open pet door.
Okay.
If it probably doesn't.
Open pet door. It's just gonna open the main door, probably. Not sure what we're trying to do. Okay. That looks like a picture of an upside door painted on the wall. All right, how can we get there? We need to get to there. We have not gone through the green one that says
we have not.
door. Maybe that's a clue.
Yes.
How are we going to do that without going
Falling
through
off?
there?
I think you're going to have to jump at some point, aren't you?
Maybe.
We wanted to make this... No, Cherry Moore wanted to make this interesting. Let's get real.
There is no interface for jumping, so...
So you'll have to... Well, yeah.
I
You did it. Fine.
I did it by moving diagonally.
Good. That's what diagonal keys
All
are
right.
for.
The mouse is my
Dark
savior.
Jock just subscribed. Thank you.
Thanks, Dark Puck.
Oh, is it Puck?
Yeah, Dark Puck.
Or Dark Pack. Yes. Oh, you went through the door.
A person could get used to this. Oh, I came out through
Oh,
the pet door.
that's where you get to the pet door. No, I thought you jumped to the me platform and then...
Jump to platform.
I don't think you can do that. I don't think... Yeah.
Jump. I'm not sure what you're trying to do.
All right, fine.
And there's no interface for jumping in this.
Fine. All right.
Spacebar does not jump.
No.
So I will fall through if I go there.
Okay.
We know we can pull that chain, but it doesn't seem to do anything.
Except open up that
open up that door.
Without a brick wall behind it.
Pushing the button in the box did not seem to do anything. Maybe it makes it possible to walk across there.
No, it's just a joke, I believe.
What did it say? I don't remember.
The
That
box?
was minutes ago.
This is why we do not play adventure games. Jeez. Let's see if we can move behind...
Push button.
It moved
Oh,
you
that. Okay,
Yes,
that's right.
that. Yes.
I remember now.
Is that door outline around the happy face on the pink wall?
What are you saying?
Oh, that the fact that this happy face has its own little square around it. How about an All Fool's Day present? Yes.
The attic kicks it? Alright, let's see. So I think... What happened when we went through? Oh, we came through the pet door.
Yes. It's the pet door.
And that wasn't very useful, so we need to get across this block there.
Yeah.
And maybe we just need to
Oh, the
pull the chain and
it's
then get
lightning bugs that is illuminating this room. That's what those sparkles are in that globe at the thing. Gotta be really fast. Go to that door quickly.
What? I won't do anything.
You go through it. It's open. Too late.
I couldn't get there.
Why not?
Because I got stuck on the diagonals.
Well, that's what where's your diagonal key? This is an interface that people, 8-year-olds can figure out.
Oh, we made it.
Oh.
There we go.
Okay.
I tried to move out of the way. I didn't manage it fast enough.
No, if you move on.
What a miserable experience. Okay. Let us save game.
No. Well, don't save over that one.
No, I won't. This is...
Save over the Brigand Cafeteria or something.
How about down at the long before?
Because it doesn't matter. You want to get
B2, morning at the inn. Replace with...
Your ex maze.
Maze
The room
2.
is such cartoon physics, it's hilarious. It is cartoon physics. It is.
Maze exit. There. This is cartoon. Yeah, this was directly inspired by Saturday morning cartoons. Open door.
Specifically not Saturday morning
And
cartoons.
as soon as it starts to shake, I
You
move
go
here,
that?
and I go there, and now I say open door again, and we
And
go
you
through.
did it. Wow.
Okay.
You did it. Okay.
I knew I would.
Stop. Look at your character sheet.
Control S.
Too late.
Brigand leader looks tough. This might be the toughest battle of your career so far.
Oh,
She stabbed me to death.
she did. That's a good thing you
All right,
saved.
so the answer is you could not look at the character sheet because Control S
Okay.
does not work.
Ah.
So, my dear, there's a problem, I fear, to our dismay that spells here to stay. For at last you did slay your hero today. One thrust, and that's it? The Brigand leader is deadly with a sword. The magic spell that possesses her makes her an invincible warrior. Oh no, if only I had saved just before going out.
Nope. All right. Ah. Well, it does give you a
So at some point we must need to get a
You need your dispel
interface.
potion, yeah.
Ah, there. Throw dispel potion at Elsa. Of course, do we know she's Elsa?
No, well,
On the brigand leader. Haha! I did. Oh, she's all sparkly. And kind of cute.
you can't imagine how good it feels to know who I am again. After all these years, to remember my name is Elsa von Svalbard.
Elsa von Spielberg?
I used to wish that I was not a brigand's child, but actually an enchanted princess. Now I know that I was really enchanted,
I really was.
and I don't have to be a brigand anymore.
And I love you.
Thank you so much for freeing me. I've got to hurry home to my father and get his guards to capture the rest of the brigands before they manage to escape with the treasure. It must be returned to the rightful owners.
Speaking of treasure, what we have in here, let's see. So that looks like a drapery. It doesn't really look like a flying carpet.
Well, one of those
There's
is a carpet.
there's a gargoyle back there. I don't see the black famous. Oh, is that
That's
up
right
here?
there.
Up here on this filing
Yeah,
cabinet
it's probably
is
the
the
blackbird.
blackbird
This is not the it's a much better treasure room in the other version.
and the VJ.
Yeah, it's a real treasure room. There's the
Look,
blackbird.
look.
I am me again.
Sorry, I took so long. I got lost in the maze. Well, your dad be glad the spell's been repelled. We need to go before the brigands before the brigands know, or they'll spoil our show. People who can't read their lines right also spoil the show.
Yes, especially when they're reading over somebody else's reading.
What, this?
No, when I was trying to read Elsa's lines, you were reading them over me. So that's
No,
not...
I stopped.
You didn't.
Come on, we better make our getaway before they get in our way.
Yorick and I can return to the castle with the amulet I wear, but I'm afraid you'll have to get there on your own. There are 2 healing potions in my desk that you may take with you. You should use this secret passage and escape while they are arguing over the treasure. If they find you in here, you will be overwhelmed and killed. Thank you again, and good luck. I'll make sure you are richly rewarded for your bravery.
If you decide to counter the cursor, then mind the mirror over mirror mines. So tip the canoe and toodaloo. Elsa, if you do the honors, I'll honor your due. Late game, we'll change that too. Escape
Yes.
from
We don't talk about
fortress.
Bruno.
Bruno! Alright, I was going to try to kiss Elsa, but the brigands are trying to break into the room. Oh no!
There must be another entrance beside.
Search. Desk. Quick but thorough search. The desk discloses 2 healing potions and a mirror. Take potions. Take mirror. And then we could explore the rest of this, but we don't have time because they're breaking in. Where's the secret passage?
Right there where Yorick came through. What do you
I
know?
mean, we could have just died and then let that, but I can restart later.
All right.
409 of 500. That's not bad for a beginner. There we are, walking through the forest, biding our time, peacefully exploring.
Such a pretty little forest. All
There's some shroomies. You can get some.
you could, but you don't
We
need
don't.
any.
Where am I going?
I don't know. No
So-
clue.
So I can move diagonally by clicking. How about that idea?
What a concept.
All this time.
You
It
did
just
not
doesn't-
know.
Doesn't look like the right place, but maybe it is. Oh, yes, it is. Goblin area. We're trying to get north of there. Do, 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 do.
Is
do,
this
do,
parallel to the
Do.
town, or is this below the town one?
We are to the northwest of the town.
Oop. Oh, I didn't know you were going here.
Again, do you really want to go back in there? Yes, please. Hey, it's your life. Bye. Oh, bro. No, sit down. Exclamation point. See, it ignores excess punctuation and such. Oh no, we're in hands off. You again?
You again?
Use mirror. You furtively grasp the magic mirror.
Powers that rule over Regent Soggy, change this creature back into a froggy.
A witch is hopping mad!
What have you done to me? How dare you use my own spell against me? Hear me, O powers of air and wind! Give me the power to save my own skin!
Catch frog, I can't do it. Oh, she teleported me out. I thought she was going to disappear. Ah.
And she did.
Here goes Baba Yaga. Now you've really made her sore.
What do you know?
Takes us directly to the castle.
Yeah.
Okay,
That was
let's
a
see.
shortcut.
These are,
All right.
there's, people with bugles. There's Lori with Erasmus. I'm probably in here somewhere about where.
There's Bob Fishbach.
Bob Fishbach is the one who looks bald on the right side. He wasn't actually bald.
And I think that's Heitman up there. Oh, okay. Thus the hero from the east freed the man from of beast.
Form of beast.
From form of beast, saved beauty from the brigand's band, and forced the ogress to flee the land. That was a Ken Nishaway drawing.
Very heroic.
Yes.
Yay! The brigand band has been dispersed. The treasure has been reimbursed.
And so with Kata and Adul Adu, you bid the valley a fond adieu.
Adieu. She wanted to marry Elsa and say adieu.
I do. You wanted her to say I do.
Oh, yes. Script and whip. Lorianne Cole. Hey, that's her.
Vicious art. Ken Nishaway.
Silly stuff. Jeff Crow. Next generation graphics.
Jerry Moore. Actually, the silly stuff was Jerry Moore more than the...
Oh, well. Marathon coding and rude puns. Bob Fishbach.
Who is really responsible for a lot of...
He really set the whole tone of the game. Algorithmic gyrations. Larry Scott.
And cameo coding by Jerry Shaw.
Insidious system software. Corey Cole.
Magical, mystical music by Mark Siebert.
The Magical Mystery Tour. Underground art by Cindy Walker. Ah, she probably did the Goblin Maze.
Yes. Yogic sympathy and support by Garuka Singh Khalsa.
He was our producer. Promotional considerations.
Rasmus Rootin' Tootin' Root Beer, Spielberg Chamber of Commerce, Shapiro Magic Carpet Tours, Famous Adventurers Correspondence School for Heroes.
Hey, all the important businesses.
Yes.
And now see, if we'd used real businesses for this, maybe they would have paid us. Darn.
Yeah, this was a good way to end the game. I mean, that was cute to watch the flying carpet over the credits. You actually sat there and watched the credits.
And now they changed to the Arabian Nights music.
Yeah, which was fun.
Appropriate for flying carpet, but also the foreshadowing of the second game. And we left the dragon behind until game 5. Quest for Glory 2. With its subtitle, Trial by Fire.
Little did we know how portentous that
Yes, what the development process would be, a trial by fire.
Yes,
That was
congratulations. You can take pride that you can beat your own game.
We didn't
without
quite. We only got
perfect-
484 of
without a
500.
perfect
Yep,
score,
not
yeah.
a perfect score.
Yes.
Congratulations, you have successfully completed Quest for Glory 1, so you want to be a hero. Your final score is 484 of 500 possible puzzle points. presume the original HQ version called it Heroes Quest 2 for that finale. I think so. We might have already known it was going to be Quest for Glory 2 by then. Oh, at the top it says, "Wow, you're really a hero!"
Yes, it does say Quest for Glory.
If you've not already done so, we encourage you to play Quest for Glory 1 again with the other two character types. Many of the puzzles are different or have alternate solutions. Were we a warrior?
Yeah, we were a warrior.
A fighter. In the meantime, you are already a winner. This is of course, a reference to things. You may already be a winner that used to get in the mail. Please insert a writable disk in your floppy drive, once a floppy drive, to save your winning hero for use in Quest for Glory 2, Trial by Fire.
So, yes.
Ah, look, I can save it on the A disk.
Okay, do you have an A disk?
No,
Okay, that might make it tough to save.
let's put it over on F. Up. Could not create file. F.
Now insert your thumb drive, yes.
And otherwise type N. We will not bother saving it. I have A disk as well. Now let's insert your thumb drive. To recall why the inventory items in both Quest for Glory 1 and 2 did not have illustrations. No, I didn't recall that they didn't. Oh, look, it took me all the way out to GOG.
And because that's...
And it's syncing.
It is, huh? Oh, it does it on GOG?
I reached 10 hours played a month ago.
Ah. Well, nobody showed inventory items when we started out. Remember, we were taking things from other games like King's Quest, the tropes, the conventions from the games that are already out there. And the games were changing as we spoke. And so, inventory items that were illustrated were just coming into thing about Quest for Glory 3 time.
So we know that Roberta was inspired to write King's Quest and her other games. Originally was the Mansion one? Wasn't it?
Maniac Mansion?
No, the first game, she was inspired to write adventure games by the original adventure game, Advent, or Colossal Cave Adventure, and that was a text-only game. And then she said, it would be really nice if I could have drawings on here. And Ken said, I can make that happen. And he came up with a way to get art in the games, which is really original at the time and really difficult. And so they were the first games to put text and graphics together. But the graphics were really, really crude. Even for the backgrounds. And so the idea of little tiny things like the inventory items having their own drawing, inventories having icons.
Well, he says he thinks they were even in King's Quest 1, so I don't know. I didn't know, because I don't know.
There's a different inventory system which allows you to keep multiple numbers of things and weights and stuff.
Right. Yes, the AGI games had illustrations for inventory.
Oh, okay. Well, so much for what I remember. Amazing what could make you rich back in 1980. Well, what's making people rich today, I was just reading about Dude Wipes. They are the replacement for toilet paper, but they're actually just repackaged baby wipes. And remarketed. And remarketed in black containers, because toilet paper usually comes in white ones. And trying to be edgy and succeeding. And they've made many millions of dollars off of, I think.
Well, what made Sierra was Ken Williams willing to do all the work to get those discs out and all the marketing by foot to get discs to stores.
He drove around, they basically
conventions and things like that.
They duplicated the discs one at a time by hand in their Apple II, and then he packaged them in Ziploc bags with one sheet of one page, Xerox page of instructions, and then drove around to all the very few computer stores in the Los Angeles area to try to sell them.
So they honestly put in the work, they put in the hours, they made it happen. So, this was not an, easy come, road to millions. It really took effort.
So most people look at the result and want to get the result without going through all the steps they got there.
Apparently those flushable wipes, which really aren't, are terrible for causing pipe and sewer clogs.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Now, we are hearing the big thing now is, been a big thing in Europe and Japan for decades or centuries, is the bidet, having water wash your bottom. And I don't know, it really is sensible.
Yes. There's also aggressively, edgedly marketed canned water because this is America and men won't drink water unless it's called liquid death. Okay, yeah.
Not manly enough.
Yes. I mean, you're drinking the water from the tap and it's got all sorts of things like fluoride and things. It's already liquid death.
It is. Like lambs to the slaughter, they're drinking the water and breathing the air.
Guess he really pioneered PC gaming. He should own Activision now instead of Microsoft. Well, we came close to owning Activision. When Ken was in that point of time of trying to corner the market on computer games.
And he was going to buy Activision.
He was going to buy them all.
I don't remember what happened with that. I know they talked about doing a merger with Davidson
and Broderbund. Yes.
And Sierra was on a acquisition spree about the time that moved the corporate office up to Bellevue by Seattle.
Right. But it was getting out of Ken Williams' ability to do any control, and it was costing real money. So at that point, he looked for somebody to take it over and basically pour money into it.
What was the company that ended up doing the Dr. Brain? Was that Brighter Child, or was that the other one you were working with?
I was working with Brighter Child.
Okay, so anyway, they bought the children's educational games company. They bought Dynamics, and a whole bunch of little companies. So they were trying to become Microsoft, but they didn't quite manage it.
If there's a huge skull on the can. Oh, just so that, yes. Right. So the poison warning sign that we've had for years as an icon to say, do not drink this. They put this on the can of water. Okay, good stuff.
Deeth Labs asks if I am still paying well. I just noticed the Arena World Championships are happening right now. Yeah, I'm unfortunately, I got eliminated early, so I'm not in them. I got eliminated by not entering.
Yeah.
But I was actually going to mention a little WoW anecdote as I was in a random dungeon group the other day and playing my character that had the legendary axe called Fairlath something bringer. And a warrior, I was on my paladin, a warrior typed in an obscenity towards, F you, paladin. I won't mention what the rest of the word was because you'll never guess it. But anyway, and so the healer in the party said, don't worry about him. He's just jealous because you have the axe. You have the legendary. And so I said, oh yeah, I was just lucky with that. I just normally only get it from heroic raids. And I only did normal raids and got lucky. It took... whatever, and then you have to go through the effort of making it. And the healer said, "Oh yeah, he doesn't want to go. His problem is he's not willing to put in the work it takes to get it."
There you go. That ties back into Ken Williams.
It ties into Ken Williams, and it ties into dude wipes. That basically, if you put in the work,
you can market it correctly.
You can sell anything, including the marketing work.
Yes,
you can sell anything.
Right.
But Ken Williams definitely worked really hard in the early days of Sierra and made the company happen. I don't think we had nearly enough respect for him when we were working there, but as we've learned more, he put it together and he held it together.
Even Wade saying, reading about the early days of computer gaming, the late 70s and 80s, there wasn't much available, so people were eagerly buying what was available to do things with their computers. Yes, exactly. So therefore, when a game was out, everybody was playing it.
Well, it said those who got in early can make decent money in a short period of time, and then 1983 happened. Okay, so this decent money thing, decent money back then was like $10,000. Maybe for a company it was $100,000. And today that's less than 1 year's salary for a programmer. So inflation has happened since then, but it was so you could saturate the computer market in the late 70s, and there were probably only 10,000 personal computers total out there. So if you sold 4,000 copies of something, you had saturated the market. And yeah, you sold it to just about everybody that had a personal computer, but that was hardly anybody.
Right, in the 70s.
And
by 80s,
by
suddenly,
the 90s, we started getting mass market.
Right, well, by the 80s, people started to buy computers. At the late 80s, they were buying computers because there were computers available. Because prior to that, you had to build your own. Nobody wanted to build their own, unless you were a nerd.
Yeah, a lot of that had to do with, was IBM coming out with the PC for business, and then had the idea of coming out with the PC Junior for home use. And the problem is it was such a crippled box that it was almost unusable.
But Apple...
And then Tandy, actually.
Apple and Tandy.
Yeah, Tandy Radio Shack came along, and the TRS-80 became the first bestseller, and then Commodore came along with the PET, and then the Commodore 64. And Apple came along with the Apple II. And later the Lisa, which Lisa was their attempt at a high-end fancy graphics computer, and it really didn't do well at all.
No, it was very lame.
But that gave them the knowledge base they had to make the Macintosh, which really took off.
K-Dust was a nerd and built his first computer when he was 8/9. That was pretty good.
In 1985. So let's see, 1985. I graduated college in 77. Laurie was 78. And my brother by then had already built his first computer, which was an S100 bus. There were two companies making him. I can't recall which one he had. But the first one he got was defective. It had all sorts of bad traces on the motherboard. And so he sat there for hours taking an X-Acto knife and cutting all the excess wiring off of the board so that he could put his first computer together. And finally returned it and got one that was not defective. Barry is and always has been very stubborn.
Yeah.
So he got me into that, and then I had looked into getting one of the first Apple IIs. And then I discovered I needed to own a TV set because it didn't come with a monitor, and I didn't have a TV. So that and the fact that Barry already had his S100 bus convinced me I should get the same thing he had, so we could share software, which we almost entirely did not do. But I had the radical idea of buying a couple of 8-inch floppy drives and adding it onto there. So I homebrewed my first computer.
Yes, so we've got creds. We have computer creds. So Arlo says, actually on the same trip to Italy, another fellow tourist was a former engineer who designed a PC Junior. Cool. He was familiar with King's Quest, having been developed specifically for it, but wasn't much interested in it. Yes, not all nerds are game players, unfortunately. Yes, I'm a she. My handle throws everybody off. Yes, and because we can't actually see. I liked it when there were avatars, when you had your avatar up there so you could get some clue,
Yeah, you could get an icon. On Discord you get an avatar.
Yes, but you don't hear.
People who don't have TV, that was just a choice. So growing up, we had a television.
So yes,
I watched all the Saturday morning cartoons.
Yes, growing up, we had televisions, and that was the thing you ever did. But after getting together, actually.
Well, before that, when I was 20 or so, just out of college, I didn't see any reason to have a TV.
And when I got out of college, I went to work on an Indian reservation and didn't have reception there anyway, so I didn't.
You had power, I think. But
I had power. I had a wonderful little apartment. We just didn't have reception. And,
no telephone.
And I didn't bother to get a telephone, so therefore I lived in, the wilds.
No motor cars, not a single luxury.
I had a motor car.
Like Robinson Crusoe, who was primitive as can be.
Yes, but that was just foreshadowing what we wound up doing when we lived in Awani.
What did you do on the Indian reservation?
Oh, I was a teacher. Yes, I taught second grade, which was really a thing of first grade, and a lot of language development skills and things like that. I had the bilingual class, which was codenamed for the kids that did not speak English going into school and still did not have good language skills because the adults didn't speak, the grandparents who were raising these kids did not speak much to their children, so they had poor language skills. So you wonder why those kids had a hard time in school. It's because they didn't have the background for it. So I love teaching on the Indian Reservation personally.
Well, where we traveled, Arlo, was not during our working years. Oh, thank you for the bits.
Oh, thank you.
Tundra Ice,
Yeah.
who says, I felt like I had avoided the big tech social concerns by not watching much TV or having Facebook, etc. And realized I watched YouTube and Twitch like 8 hours a day.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah. I mean, nowadays, watch YouTube all the time. So yes, we are media savvy, yeah.
So my travel was, when I was 15 years old, I went out to Germany, Berlin, Germany, as an exchange student. The Berlin Wall was still up at the time. There was still East and West Germany. And I did go on a trip to visit East Germany at one point. I went across Checkpoint Charlie. And then another time I went through East Germany to visit Denmark. And then I went on a class trip down to Rome. So I had lots of travel in high school.
I didn't actually travel until, I went down to the border of, Nogales, the Mexican border. I had been across the border, but you didn't need a passport for just going across the border. So I've been there once. And that was my sole trip out of the country until, I guess it was, we were working on Shannara, and there was NASFIC, that was a North
Toronto?
American Science Fiction Convention in Toronto. And that was actually
It was the Worldcon. It was the Worldcon, yeah.
So therefore I went up to Toronto, and that was my first time actually out of the country.
And for some reason I had to stay here, maybe to take care of Michael, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you
Not
were
sure.
working at the time.
I was working on something.
Yep. I think it was just post 9/11 actually. And because they were just starting to get
just post 9/11, I was working down in L.A.
right,
and I just
and you
started
had
a
to
job.
have, and they were just starting to make you have passports to go into Canada, because prior to that, you did not need a passport.
And your driver's license or whatever was fine,
Yes.
if they even looked at
Right.
that.
Yes.
I did get asked when I was working in Canada for a while, and my passport said I was said I was American. I did get asked by a border guard, what's the last letter of the alphabet? He was waiting to see whether I'd say Z or Z. And I was sufficiently indoctrinated in Canada, I could have done either, but so I had a temporary working permit for that.
And my Indian reservation was 2 hours
Oh
away
yes, that was
from my
during
home.
college. I worked in Vancouver, British Columbia, and then I moved to Toronto.
Yes,
later.
my college experience was a half-an-hour drive from my house, and so therefore I didn't live in dorms. I did not. It was a glorified upgrade from my high school, which my high school was actually a very good high school. So therefore, but at least I got to drive to college rather
you
than
had a
walk to high school.
serious drama club in your high school.
Yeah, we did. We had a great drama club. Everything I needed to know, I learned in high school rather than college, really, because we had art classes and we had a good drama school. And
weren't you the president of the SPQR?
no, oh yes, I was. I wasn't president,
Oh.
but I was. Yes, I was.
Active in the Roman Senate.
Yes, active in the Latin Lingua Latina Mortua Non Est Club. Actually, yes.
Latin language is not dead.
Correct.
See, I don't know any Latin. I still can figure that out.
I know, it didn't that. I had a great aunt who taught second grade in New Mexico, and there were similar challenges that not all of the kids spoke English. Most of them spoke Spanish, I'm guessing. Yes, the difference was while the children could speak some Apache, and that's how they learned how to communicate, but they didn't have a lot of fluidity with even Apache. And their grandparents this was a reservation, which means they were taken from all over this land, stuck in this thing, and then most of them were not allowed to speak their native language when they were growing up. There were laws against speaking Apache when it first was a reservation, and they had to use a special money system that was distributed by the Bureau of Land Management, the Bureau of Indian Affairs, distributed money. So they didn't actually use real money. And a lot of those kids were sent off to the Indian schools. And that's the worst of it. When they were taking all the kids from their parents and sticking them over to, over with white people to, foster them. And those schools were boarding schools, some of them, and that was horrendous, some of the conditions that went on.
I remember you told me that a lot of your students didn't have any fluency with any language because at home they were encouraged to be silent.
Right. Well, they were living with grandparents because the parents were generally not present. There were a lot of alcoholism on that Indian reservation and a lot of poverty.
And Belchar says, that sounds like the residential schools in Canada. We heard a lot of horror stories about the Catholic-run schools for the indigenous peoples of Canada. And
it's the same
absolutely
idea.
Horrendous.
Same idea. Save the Indians from themselves. Let's take them over here and then teach them how to be white.
How to be good Christians.
Yes, so, oh boy. A lot of bad things happen in the name of good. So, yes. Yeah, the kids were, exactly.
My parents were non-religious, except my mother had come forward at a Billy Graham crusade to be baptized as a Christian. And I decided in 12th grade, 10th grade, 9th, before I went to Germany, I had been part of a Christian coffee house, and I decided to become a Christian and started going to church and so on. And it's just like I don't know. I had a point here, but
you lost it.
I lost Christianity too.
Civilize the savage, it is. Yes.
When my brother got my brother up to work for my company, Jack, in Canada. Oh, that was my internship. I took a year off college to work up in Canada, and my brother had been working for IBM in New York and was dissatisfied with that, so I got him a job at GIAC, and he lived up in Toronto. I was in Vancouver initially, but while he was up there, I was sending letters to him occasionally. Said, you seem to be going through some really tough times here. You really should read Atlas Shrugged. And I tried several times. It's a hard book to get into. So yes, Atlas Shrugged convinced me to stop being a Christian. And I went through various phases of various cults and things. And at this point, I consider all of them to be okay. They're social clubs, effectively. Our church was a social club. Yeah. Certainly for the teenagers.
So Arlo's trying to meet the Inuits right now, and yes, they've gone through the same thing. There's the great white father is very paternalistic towards other people, and trying to keep them in their place, but teach them how to be white. All that whole patriarchal bullshit that we're all living through and suffering from post-patriarchy. I think we're still in the middle of it, but we're at least phasing it out. Yes, the term Eskimos are no longer considered polite. Probably because Eskimos is a word that somebody gave them.
It's from a French word, Esquimaux. Eskimo.
Really?
Yes.
That's what the French
original.
named them.
They were named by the French.
Okay.
The French trappers and explorers.
Yeah, most people don't know Inuit, but it's time for us all to learn. Yes, happy Saturday! Hi, Barry. Yes, we are well. Corey is hardly ever coughing, except that this should be his high allergy month because we have a courtyard full of lovely white jasmine flowers. And he should
I'm
be
coughing
seriously.
occasionally. The difference is what I went through the first 3 months of the year was coughing spasms. I would start and could not stop.
Yeah.
And now I cough occasionally. I pop a throat lozenge and it goes away.
Yes, but in particular, you're usually miserable.
In May and June, yeah.
In May and June. But
it's been moving earlier in the year for a while.
Well, it has been, but you haven't got the cold symptoms. These symptoms of the runny nose and that just because we're always stuffed, nose.
That's true.
But we will not lounge long on our, sickness, because that's what old people
That's what
do.
old people talk about. Oh,
Because they have nothing better to discuss but
Illnesses.
their illnesses. Because that's the most interesting thing that goes on in their life.
Although I am looking at, there's a drug called metformin that is being used for diabetics that I've just recently been reading. They're trying to do some clinical experiments to find out, and or trials, to find out whether it's actually an anti-aging drug as well. So I'm thinking maybe I should go to my doctor and say, diabetes, I should get this medicine. And then maybe I'll live longer.
And then
than
they'll be
the,
young. Then they'll go young.
Yeah, I'll get younger.
Right.
And then Lori will leave me because I'll be too something for her.
Randy.
That's a good word.
Yes.
That's the H word.
Well, I know, but
Whereas as an old man, none of that hardly ever
happens.
more than twice a night.
right. Any rate, we played out the last of. So you want to be a hero?
Well, I was wondering I should go back into it and do some of the
Yeah.
things we didn't do.
Yeah. Oh, metformin messed my mother up.
One of my adventures was going back home to take care of her for 8 months and figuring out how to cure her illness that the doctor said there was no cure for. Be careful with that stuff,
Yeah.
and it's been banned in multiple countries.
I
Well, darn
like
it.
So
the
much
other-
for miracle drugs, yes.
So was the smart drug, the smart pills. Michael told us about that, about when he was in college.
Aspartame, no, not aspartame.
The one that people were taking.
Yes, I'm sure you guys know what that is, that all the college kids were taking to
And apparently people are now, a lot of high-end businessmen and rich people and so on are taking it like all the time to have their brains work better.
I see. That's,
In competitive sports, bridge players and so on.
well, it makes sense. If it does, but I'm
made me
surprised it's
sickly.
not illegal, if it does anything. Just like the what is it, Panera Bread had to take their supercharged caffeine drink off the market because...
Smart drugs, nootropics.
Okay.
Cognitive enhancers.
Okay.
What category?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of the name of the one that that I should know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start to lose your memory for names as you get older, you see.
All right.
Modafinil.
Well, clearly they have new ones, yes.
Yeah, apparently they got new ones
They
since
don't
I knew
take
about
the
them.
one that they were using back then. Yeah.
I can't even find it.
Yeah.
Well, what do they you?
Oh, well.
Usually prudent to never consider any drugs being innocuous. Yeah, well, that would be if you get inoculated with it. Inoculated with it.
Right.
Innocuous. That being said, risk of certain adverse effects doesn't mean that a drug is sure poison to all.
Right.
Yeah, the real problem is we all have individual metabolisms and things work
genetics.
differently.
So yeah, you really have to watch. And
My smart
a lot of
drugs
those
nightmare.
things. A lot of these things are tested only on certain people, and so therefore, when it comes to women's health, you have to really watch it, because we don't. There's so much we do not know.
I didn't even see the one that was the flavor of the month 15 years ago.
Yes.
My medication ad spends half the time describing side effects.
I know.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like I can't believe
That they
ads
have-
that anybody would buy a medicine from an ad with all those side effects.
Well, I think that's actually one of the ways in which they have inoculated us into basically not worrying about consequences, and certain political candidates that you hear horrible things about and just brush it off and say, "Yeah, that's politicians for you," and focus on the part that you like.
Okay.
So politics and medication, same way. We're used to everything having horrible side. I mean, cigarettes were forced to start saying this can cause cancer and birth defects and heart disease, and people still buy cigarettes.
Yep. Because people are basically self-destructive. We all do things we should not do. Yep. They buy drugs from ads because people sometimes are so desperate to deal with specific issues. That is very true. That anybody that is severely sick gets desperate because there are no good solutions to any problem.
Yeah, I've heard all these great things about how marijuana and cannabis are great for asthma and different things. My mom actually was prescribed. She had asthma when she was a teenager, and she was prescribed marijuana, and presumably smoked. I don't know, because that was what they did. That was before they made them illegal. And my problem is that cigarette smoking is devastating to a person with lung problems. And how could smoking marijuana be any better?
Yeah.
So I don't really understand, how could possibly help that.
Yes, tobacco was of indigenous traditional medicine, but yes, you realize that they did those during ceremonies. It was a special event. It was not, every hour on the hour taking another cigarette. So,
Well, that's one of the problems
how you use things.
Yeah.
Nicotine is a very powerful poison that you could use to kill ants and things like that. They took it off the market because people were, poisoning people.
Bookstore says smoking marijuana makes you stupid. Really, it damages your brain. Well, maybe or maybe not. I mean, the jury is mixed.
Well, they're saying that with heavy smoking, it's just like everything.
Too much of anything is bad for you.
Yep.
So as a kid,
moderation.
As a kid, I was always told that my teeth would fall out if I ate candy or something like that, and well, it never seemed to happen, so I kept on eating candy.
Well,
I'm only paying for that as I get older.
Yes, it's the other stuff that they add that only complicates the tobacco, but tobacco itself contains the tar and the stuff that they're
the
trying
tar
to,
and the nicotine.
Yes, those things are needed to tobacco. So,
and like 1,000 or several hundred different chemicals.
Steve Jobs credits his creativity to his drug use. You never know. Steve Jobs was also a aggressive, terrible manager to people. So.
And he was also a vegetarian.
Well, he was. So. Yeah. He was not a good person around people. And so, therefore, a lot of people that are managers and that are good at managing are not good at people, even though that's their job.
As the mantra says, according to Quest for Glory 1 and 3, I should not eat more than 2 mushrooms or smoke other people's pipes more than 3 times.
Important safety tips there, people. These are your mottos for life.
Moderation and everything.
Yeah, really.
Steve Jobs is also a deadbeat dad, despite being adopted.
Yeah.
But he was creative.
He
was a successful manager, is what he was.
He was for a while. Yeah.
I mean, he didn't actually have that much to do with the creative part of the company.
Yeah. No, he did, because he came up with ideas like Ken Williams would. He would suggest a lot of ideas.
And then other people would have to make them.
Right, exactly. So
whereas Wozniak got into the nitty-gritty of actually designing circuit boards. And
Wozniak was the nerd, and who loved that sort of stuff and did not exactly love dealing with people. And Steve Jobs didn't mind dealing with people, so yeah.
But Steve Jobs had taken a college class in typography, and that was one of the things when they came up with the Lisa and the Macintosh, that he was really hot on putting real typography into these devices.
Yes. We shouldn't make heroes of sociopaths. Yes. Well, honestly,
was greater than Jobs.
Humans are very complicated creatures, and the whole idea of devil and angel inside of a human, it's kind of true. And
they all have both of them.
Yes, and a lot of people have more devil than angel in them, but that doesn't mean they didn't have some angel. They didn't have some positive qualities. But some people have so much devil you can't find the positive qualities anymore, But yeah, Steve Jobs died because he was too stubborn to deal with the pancreatic cancer. Pancreatic cancer is a severe, death sentence if you do not deal with it. All cancers
and even
are dangerous.
if you deal with it, it's just a chance you might succeed. So,
right.
He basically was trying to do natural remedies and stuff like that. And the problem is they just didn't work terribly well.
Yes, and I know a lot of people that have died of pancreatic cancer. So it is something to take very seriously. And we're still in the dark ages for medicine. We're just now starting to know really what we need to know to really to deal with this stuff, because we're still, they're going in the body and cutting something out and thinking that's a way to treat a problem.
Lori always loved the Star Trek movie where Bones talks about the barbaric practices of dentists in the 20th century.
Dentists are still barbarians. I kept wanting to go to the 25th century and get their modern medical problems.
Voyage Home, was it that one? Okay.
Yeah, it was actually.
Which was 3?
Yeah, probably. Wales. It's the Wales one.
The Wales one, yeah.
Uh-huh.
4.
Yes.
It was 4.
4.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right. It was the even-numbered Star Trek
Yes,
movies that
right,
were good.
that's
The
right.
odd-numbered ones were bad.
Because the first one was horrible.
Star Trek
the second
1, you
was
got
good.
to sit there for 25 minutes while they got out of dock.
Yes. The survival odds for pancreatic cancer in general is very poor. So he probably knew that cancer is, you know,
And maybe he wanted to have the best life he could before he died of it.
And, I'll always think we'll look back at braces the same way do a Chinese foot binding. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. They had to get Chekhov out of the hospital and Bones went, yes. Exactly.
Fundoscopic examination? What is this, the Dark Ages?
It is the Dark Ages still, people. We know that medicine's going to get a lot better if we survive. Yes. Except braces aren't inherently misogynistic.
Well, except that, women are told to care about what their teeth look like more than men.
Right. Women are told about, to care about physical beings.
My parents were told that I needed to get braces when I was young teen or preteen, and that if I didn't do that, it would be fine for a while, but I would probably lose all my teeth by the time I was, 40 or 50.
Really?
Yeah. And we decided not to do that. And sure enough, I didn't actually lose my teeth by when I was 40 or 50. I didn't have my first cavity.
Thank you for the quote, Brainiac. Yes. I can hear Bones. That is the only Bones. Of course, we were original series people after all. Yeah.
My God, man. Drilling holes in his head is not the answer. The artery must be repaired. Now put away your butcher's knives and let me save this patient before it's too late.
Yes.
Which is not in the least bit his accent, but never mind.
It doesn't matter. But it is the right emotional value. So, yeah, exactly. I've always felt that it's like I want to stand up in the theater and clap, because honestly, we saw this in the theater, all you people who were, said that was on television when I was a kid. Yeah, that, yeah.
I had a slightly predatory dentist when I lived in L.A. He did not like treating me because I didn't have any serious problems that made him the real money.
Yes, a Brainiac, exactly. When he talks to the woman, I can still see the old woman that was in that, and he gave her a pill and she regrew a kidney. Yes, I want to get my hands on that medicine too. That is just
Richard Aronson also, Stephen Alexander, same,
really.
yeah. Stephen Alexander's gone through several kidneys.
Yeah.
Richard's still waiting for his.
So yes, we are in the dark ages of medicine still, but people are working on it. Yeah. Ooh.
Kidney Organogenesis Lab.
That's fun, because that's the way of the future, clearly.
We have heard on they're growing artificial chicken and stuff like that. So,
I think that cloning organs and things like that, probably the way you clone the organ of the person, and so therefore it regrows, or just get that to regrow in the body.
I was going to say, if it's their kidney and it was defective, then maybe the next one will be defective
you do it from stem cells, and you do the stem cells so that it's compatible with your body, and then you have that grow into the kidney. Or eventually they'll have it grow in your own body back. So.
Although personally, both of us prefer black beans to kidneys.
Ah, okay. Black beans have their place. So, wow.
So should we go back and play some more of...
well, we've already... Oh, did you want to do anything?
I wanted to go back and do some of the things we didn't do.
We pretty much hit every beat in it, didn't we?
We didn't look at all the things in the Elsa's room, and we did
Could
not.
we? I thought the rogues would come in. Oh, okay, you could do that.
They will. They'll come in. They'll kill us.
Oh, okay.
They'll kill us.
But you were going to look.
That's why you save a game.
Oh, okay.
To explore the things that, what kills us makes us stronger.
Ah.
Besides, it's more uplifting than suicide.
Talking about, you know, barbarian medicine, yes. Steve was so happy I was working on that stuff. I told him I was only doing the mouse colony maintenance, not the serious research, but it was still nice to be appreciated to see how the work affects people for the better. Yes.
Yeah, one of my WoW Guild members works for, not BioNTech, the other one, Moderna.
And then we have another doctor friend, who is actually working on cancer. That's why they're coming.
And make it loud again.
Yes, it did. It's so loud. Oh, they're clearly trying to break in. They'll get there any time now.
Yeah, but they can at least do it quieter.
Okay.
So the Persian carpet is license plate. It says Abdullah Do 222.
Okay.
Ladies room is filled with treasures. Okay, so look at Black Bird. Nope, doesn't tell me anything. Look at Gargoyle.
Excuse me, I'm trying to case this joint in peace. Can you look at the treasure?
Look at treasure.
No.
Filled with it.
All right, look at dragon or whatever that is.
Read a book. Looks pretty normal. Might as well get the mirror just because it's probably worth points.
Okay.
It is. That was worth 10 points.
Well, what about the dragon?
Look at chest. Oh, is that what that is? I would call it a gargoyle. Look at dragon.
No.
Look at torch.
At least it's recognizing those as words.
Yeah, but it's not really doing
No,
much
it's
with
not
it.
handling it. There's not enough handling in it. What do you know?
There are the brigands.
The brigands.
Wearing out your welcome. Think about all that treasure cost you time and more. Some folks just don't know when to leave.
Okay. Whose Oscar is that? Oh, there is an Oscar in there. I don't know whose Oscar that is.
Can you get all? Taking only those things will serve request. Get. Oh. Wow, they came faster this time.
That's because you restored the game and it remembered that you've wasted all your time here.
Clearly.
Open drawer? No, I think not. Oh, you just walked out. Why did you walk out?
Because there's nothing I can say.
Okay, so go to the castle.
Yeah, that's what it's going to do.
Okay. You get that message for pretty much everything. Yes, I thought so.
It was really pretty sparse.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The room was really... Okay, so that was a room that was not one of the best programmed because it was really designed for a very particular interaction. It was designed so you could use the Dispel Potion and that...
Moo! You're being chased by a goblin, but
Ha!
not here.
Won't chase me in here.
No.
Oh, let's actually go up there. Okay. Climb ladder. Invisible ladder. Knock on door. Knock 3 times. Just a minute, just a minute. Please move away from the door. I did. Nobody here, I guess.
We're so proud of us because we can climb a ladder, obviously.
Well, it's what it is these text messages are throwing me off because they're non-interactive while the text messages are up. And that is throwing off my timing. And I can't click, which I tried to do. All right, let's come over here first. I'm running. That would help if I were walking.
Yes. Switch
Okay.
to
But that's okay. Walking help. Man, it's a narrow ledge up there.
Hi, hi, says Valiant Cheese. Yes.
Hi, hi, hi.
Back and forth from the keyboard a bit this morning. Good luck with breaking the curse. We did it. We did it. We're just reprising the best moments of how not to play this game. Fortunately, when he swings...
Oh, hello. Go on in.
Yes.
He's the real swinger.
These early 90s games bring back so much nostalgia.
Come in, come in. Good to see you again. It's kind of tiresome sitting here and thinking by myself all the time. Ask about mirror. A magic mirror of reflection it was. If you use it, what a nasty spell is cast you was set it back at the 1 watt. Cast it. Do unto others, I says. He.
It's not clear. I mean, this is end game, so
yep,
you know,
nothing actually we can
nothing we can do. We
here.
could say hello, but that's about it. We could
say bye.
We could save a lot. You know, say hello to all the people that we are going to visit.
Once new.
What's your health like?
I don't know. Maybe I'm killing it. 41 out of 92.
You could kill yourself before you got to the end game, but you do have some health potions which you don't need. Oh, yes, you do.
Drink healing potion.
Henry VIII it is. Henry the Ermity is.
Yep. Fight. I have to learn how to type again. I'm on a different desk than I was on before. It's a little more awkward.
Yeah, you got.
I should be able to use, a spell or something here, or potion. We're getting pretty good at this point. Yeah. Search body. Nostalgia for 10 silver coins. Yum. Oh, we probably have rewards waiting for us.
Yes, we probably do. Bro doesn't know his leaders already go. Yeah, well, yeah.
Good morning.
Lots of time. Or he's looking around for something else, you know.
Brigand leader.
He's not gonna know.
You got me tell you? Let's go, brigands. Whole pack of brigands. Got a fair amount of treasure. So none of that has changed because we didn't think people would come back down.
Right, this is not to encourage people to come back.
It just never occurred to us. We didn't doing that.
Oh, well, all right. There's also a theory of how to design games is not to reward behavior that is not worth. I mean, this is not a sandbox game. It had a plot. It had a story. All right. What do you want? Oh,
Word for Lost Ring. We did that.
50 gold coins.
That's what. Of Elsa.
Yeah.
30 gold coins for the capture or death of the Brigand Warlock. Well, we actually capture him.
Right.
All right. Brigand Leader. We got the Brigand Leader.
Right.
Here, title Hero of the Realm. Spell components needed.
Remember, we saved
and
Bernard.
Bernard, but we already got rewarded for that.
Yes.
We have only 6 gold coins. We have 99 silver coins. That's probably pretty heavy.
Yeah. What's our strength? What are our stats? We didn't max out
Control
our stats.
S. Our stats. We have 76 strength. We have 100 vitality. 94 weapon use.
Okay, that's not bad. We could go to. No, we can't. We're done. We can't go back to get the weapon master and defeat the weapon master yet. And you have to actually sandbox this thing to do that.
Yeah, there's what was the term they had for games that allowed you to continue playing and experimenting with them after you'd finished the game?
I understand why it happens, but it's always a little weird when NPCs in games don't have any idea of the big things going on in games. I agree, and therefore worked hard with most of my games as they become more and more sophisticated to deal with just that. And especially in Road to Redemption, the dialogue for characters is huge. All right, so there's Elsa and her father off on the left. We have
that's one of our programmers on the far left.
There's Jerry Moore between Elsa and
Cindy, is that me on the far left?
No, I thought you were. I think you're supposed to be Erasmus over here in the purple. There's Zara over here. There's the shopkeeper on the left. There's the weapon master is on the left. And now we're just going to do these things. Yes.
And the same thing except with fewer points because. We did not get the points for chasing.
Oh no! Brainiac's getting old! An old man! Antwerps are such fun creatures. They were crazy.
And then we have the magic carpet ride.
The design of these games did seem very static.
Unfortunately, since the Baron is still cursed and Baba Yaga remains to work her evil deeds, terror will continue to rule the land. We have different dialogue because we did not chase Baba Yaga off this time.
And we wanted to give the player clues of what they should do.
Say, oh, you should play it again and do that right.
Yeah. You still get a carpet.
You still can't get out of here.
Yeah, well. You can't escape?
No.
Hmm.
So we're forced to watch
they
all
were
this
static, and no, if restore game will always give you the same dialogue in any game. We can't be that sophisticated. We did actually talk about doing that with one game, of having a memory that allowed you to die, and yet you would restore back and you would continue, because effectively we were doing what one other game did, that you were avatar. You had a robot body, so if your character died, you'd have to start at the beginning, but you already
But
had
you had that knowledge.
You had that knowledge and things in your main character.
And this is one of the age-old questions in Dungeons and Dragons: is you know, if you play a new character or in World of Warcraft, you know, do you have the memory of the things that your other character did?
Yes.
And while they simply don't worry about it, you can just do
Yeah.
you know, go immediately to the end game, etc. Don't you get smart with me, I'll tan your hide. OSU is having a cake with vanilla ice cream. I just bought some thrifty vanilla ice cream, which Lori looked at me and said, "Thrifty?"
Yes.
But we really like their chocolate malted crunch, so I figured let's try the vanilla.
All right, so yeah. Huge diskettes of floppy diskettes of Heroes Quest. Yes. The only difference between Heroes Quest and Quest for Glory that I can remember is the opening sequence. I think the end scenes are the same. Well, we'll have to actually play that. Briar's Extra Creamy. Yes.
I like Dryers.
Yeah. Dryers is slightly creamier.
Yeah,
this was very cool, though. Yeah. Again, that bringing in the trial by fire, and that they kept the same kind of font and style for the next game, so at least we retained some of the glory. And that is a cool dragon. And yes, Ken Nishaway was a fine artist for this, and Jerry Moore was an incredible artist for this, and he wasn't as good, but he was an animator, and he understood, and Yorick is really Jerry Moore's
Let's just
baby.
try Glory one that's saved without a disc. Oop. It didn't work.
Oh well.
Why?
But you don't want to save this game, because this is a sucky game. Okay.
Might have done it.
Wow.
Save characters file has been created.
Oh well. All right.
All right. So somewhere it's a save game, and
Of a
probably in
game-
my operating system, you know, or maybe in the game directory.
Quest for Glory includes VGA remake synced properly. So maybe you should have kept the dragon opening through all the series. Would have tied in nicely with 5. Yeah, it would have been interesting to do that. But usually those openings were created by the artist rather than my specifications, so that they got to be creative and do what they thought was right, given that
Where they put the GOG?
I don't know.
I forget. I
But,
thought I had a games folder, but it doesn't look like it.
I would presume it's either in Documents directory or where your Galaxy install is. Yes. Galaxy, huh? GOG.
I have GOG Galaxy, GOG Games, and GOG.com.
Well, try Galaxy. Oh, look, Might and Magic 2 Gold. Might and Magic 3. The current thing in WoW, the newest thing that just came on 2 days ago, is a remix of the old scenario of Pandaria, which was the one that had the pandas in it. But what they're doing is they went with the philosophy of Diablo, and so it's all about power-ups and things like that. So you're not actually playing WoW as the real game goes. You're playing a power-up, high energy, high spell version of WoW. So that's a very interesting way to handle it after all these years, to do something. Does it matter where it is? Yes. If your emulator thinks it's saved, then when you run 2, won't it be there?
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Maybe.
maybe, but he's still trying to find it because that's what he does.
I could
We
search.
we could start Quest for Glory 2 now that we've done this, just to do the.
Oh, it depends. Do we have any more to talk about? It's 3:40. We have close to an hour left.
Yeah, I know. So we could start 2 and talk about the beginning because we've talked about 1 and we've talked about 1 and we've talked about 2 a lot too because 2 was just the trial by fire for all of us, the whole company. I mean, all the things that went on at that time with somebody trying to start a union and I am not a number. I am a free man.
The prisoner.
Yes, we had a lot of Prisoner references about that time. If you've ever seen The Prisoner, which I really recommend that you should at least see parts of The Prisoner because.
Okay, we're in program files, GOT. So we have yet another GOT set of games.
Ah, okay.
Cloud saves, EGA. Glory1z.save. There it is.
Ah, very good.
It has been found in a weird place.
Okay, now we know. All right. Great.
I could delete that now, I suppose, but might as well leave it there forever.
You'll never play it back.
All
right. At the very end of the game, after the ending sequence, you will get a prompt showing you to export your character. This is not done through the save game dialog, but a different one. Images requested. Once there, you will enter a directory and a name for your file, the default being something like glory1.save. Since a default configuration doesn't have an A drive mounted, save it as C. Well, assuming 2 is the next game you're going to play and not a remake of 1. I think we'll go through it since we just played 1. I think we'll play the
I think we should play
original
Colossal
2.
Cave since that was the inspiration for King's Quest.
You want to play Colossal? Which one? That is Roberta's game.
This is Roberta's game.
Oh, okay, fine. We can play that while we're waiting. We'll start 2 next time because we'll just talk about it because we haven't actually played this, or I haven't. Corey played some.
I played about 5 minutes of it.
Made with Unity.
It's on the wrong screen.
It's on the wrong screen.
Won't show up.
It contains flashing images that may cause discomfort and trigger seizures with people with photosensitive epilepsy. So don't have epilepsy, kids. That's the bottom line of this. It's not responding.
Yeah.
Close the.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Windowed.
Apply.
Oop.
Okay. It's windowed. You can move it now. It's a window.
Yet. If I had control, I can move it.
Oh. There's a swan. Oh, that's a Cygnus Entertainment. That was a nice.
Please wait.
That was a nice intro.
And they can't see it.
I know, but
Okay,
most of them
there
have
we
played it, probably.
There we go.
All right, if you haven't played this, well, now's your chance.
Okay, new game. This is Colossal Cave. We can do help.
Why?
We know how to play?
We don't know how to play. That's the best way.
Oh, okay.
We have no clue, so therefore we will do this.
There's a lantern.
It is.
It is replicating historic text-based games, adventure, experience, and wit. Taking instructions will cost you 5 points, but allow you to spend more exploration time because your lamplight will last more than twice as long. Helpful in learning the game. Do you like instructions? We strongly recommend it.
We have instructions over here. You guys who played this game can tell us what not to do.
Okay. Would you like auto mapping?
Yes, we'll get auto mapping. No. We don't need to click that.
No, we didn't get very far.
Oh, look. A house.
You are standing at the end of a road
And
before
a
a small
voice.
brick building. Around you is a forest.
Music
a small
too loud.
stream flows out of the building and down a gully.
Is it?
That use of the compass
you are
at the
standing
top.
at the end of a road before a small brick building. Around you is a forest. A small stream flows out of the building and
Did
down
it
a
save
gully.
into program files GOG? No, it was GOG Galaxy
/save.
/save.
Okay, I have a hand cursor.
We don't know whether it's saved it also there. All right. Oh, look. Very cool.
You're inside a building, a well house for a large spring.
There's keys. Ooh. Oh, all of a sudden things appeared. So you could take
And I
this.
can reach them all from here.
Yeah, isn't that nice? Okay.
Pick the...
Underground Adventure 2. Cultural
Hi,
icon.
I'm Roberta Williams.
Okay, let's
I've had
check
a
some.
long and very rewarding career designing many adventure games since the year 1980 with...
Ha! I turned her off.
You did. There's a glint out there. Is that glint?
You're inside a well house.
See, there's a glint on the floor. Let's see if
Okay.
it's there. There. Can't you eye it?
Nothing happens.
Real weird.
You're inside a well
No,
house.
that's a non-entity. That'll teach her for that time she didn't say hi to you back at lunch in 1989. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Oh, I found a dead end.
You did. Well, you know it's not going to go anywhere because the game didn't have that in it. Go, go, gadget arms. Yes, exactly. Well, how many of you have actually
And
played
this
this
game
game?
is lovely.
Yeah, I mean, the graphics look great. I mean, he did really looks nice. Ooh, you're going to fall off and fall in the stream and die?
Oh, if it was King's Quest, I would.
You sure can go far for a game that doesn't actually have any content for this. Ooh, what's that in the water?
That's someplace I want to go to.
Ah, there we
It's
go.
great.
It's a great.
This is great.
Ooh, there's
The
Cedric
grate is
in the
locked.
background.
Let's see if
I'm
we
gonna
can
play
eye
this
for
version.
inventory.
Set of keys.
Use.
Did you know this was here?
You have unlocked the grate.
Of course, I played this. I played this before I met Laurie.
Oh, well.
The original.
I don't remember there was a grate over here. I don't remember you got in this way.
Yeah, I thought you went in through the building.
I thought you did, so I was confused. I didn't know you could do this.
Oops, apparently I can't walk down that way.
Use your hands on that
Yeah,
ladder?
I guess so. I want to
Yes.
use my feet.
Oh well. Why does the main character sound
You're
like
in a small chamber
sleep
beneath a
apnea?
3x3 steel grate to the surface. A low crawl over cobbles leads inwards to the west. You're in a small chamber. There's nothing to do with it here.
There's a piece of paper there, clearly.
There's no use for that here.
There's the ladder back up.
There's a trash can.
Please keep area clean.
Strange. Looks like others have been here before you.
Well, duh.
Only I had a light.
Yeah, I think. Didn't you need to get that out of the house?
I have one.
Oh, you have one? Oh, do you have it in the inventory?
Yeah.
Well, then you'll probably have to use the light.
Brass lantern.
Like, lamp.
The
on.
lantern is now lit.
Okay. I love the fact they've got to keep the place clean. That's pretty funny.
Is there something under this ladder? Like a bottle.
Nothing. Oh, there, a cup.
That is useless right now.
Ah,
Well, what's it doing there then?
right.
That was not in the original. It was a crawl.
Twisty Plazas is all alike. Ooh, what was that? Rock. Oh. Okay. Good, you can imagine playing this with the... Oh, this is getting smaller and smaller. You're going to have to crawl in here now.
Which is a lot like caving. So this game was created by Crowther.
Trash can.
You are crawling over cobbles in a low passage.
Trash bag.
Maybe.
Well, there was also a box there.
I was trying to use my
I
hand
know.
and I used my feet.
Ah.
Yeah. Where's my hand icon? There's no hand icon.
I guess they decided you don't need to use that here. Keep running into the rock. We're gonna have. I hope we have a pith helmet on, or we're gonna wind up with,
We're gonna get pith.
contusions. Yes, yes. We're definitely getting pith.
That was a Dr. Demento song. Transfusion, multiple contusions. I'm never, ever gonna speed again.
Yeah. Back here again. At least we got the trash. Ooh.
You're crawling in a low passage.
Oh, I hate that. Oh.
And there's no,
There's no hand.
yeah, we want to be able to look at specific things.
If you
but
put something in a room.
this is the early days. You can only see the room. Can you type? You can't type.
This is crazy. This is going to be
I
terribly
don't know why we
frustration.
don't have. I do not know why we don't have a hand interface. Game menu, help, move, look, interact. The hand cursor can open the door.
No kidding.
But I can't get to the hand cursor.
Because it doesn't. I guess they don't let you have it if you can't do anything with it. It has to be the most creative remaking I've seen of a text adventures. Yeah, it's like they combined it with an updated Myst interface. That's very true. What? You quit?
Apparently I accidentally. Okay. I apparently accidentally exited the game.
Oh,
Load
okay.
autosave. How about?
It's really beautiful. I'll give it that, but it's got some cardinal
Totally
problems.
frustrating.
I mean, the trash that's around there makes sense that it's giving you clues that helps you get oriented. But rank amateur, how dare! What are you trying to do?
I was saving in the cave.
Oh, why? Because you weren't very far
Bottle
in that
of
cave.
water.
No.
Brass lantern. The lantern is now lit. Bottle of water.
Food and a drink.
Set of keys.
Yeah, you have food and a drink.
Oh, there's our auto map.
Ah, okay.
Okay, so we remember our map. There's a cobble crawl. So we want to head west. Down the cobble crawl.
Yes, and then crawl through this. This actually makes sense. You're crawling through this. Ooh,
Anyway,
what's that
so
piece of
Will
trash?
Crowther, after his divorce, created this game so that he
Ooh,
could...
birdcage.
Birdcage. Hand.
Yay!
We have a birdcage.
And all the paper that was under the bird cage to keep so you could clean the cage.
And it doesn't say where we are now. It just shows the map, but doesn't say where we are. Apparently I'm blocked. There's that little piece of wood in there. So, somewhere around here. So, Will developed this game to teach his children about the joys of caving and spelunking.
And you can do this without bumping your head, scratching your hands, crawling on your hands
Well, I
and
wouldn't
feet.
go this fast if I was going through a real cave. I would be slowly making my way.
Yes, I don't know if you've ever done any real walking through caves or mines. There's light up ahead.
Ah, is this somewhere new maybe? Unless
Or
that's
back
the
to
way
the
back out.
exits, which would make sense. You're crawling over things. Ooh, this is a mess. Oh, this feels very uncomfortable to me. I feel like, I do have the impression that we're on this environment. And this environment would be very, very unpleasant to walk on or crawl on. So that
this
is a new
appears
place.
to be a dead end that we can't get to.
We'll let
But
you
we
see
heard
your
a
map.
hiss coming from that direction, so there's some light up there and something interesting.
Ooh, Zizig.
But where do you see that?
Zizig.
X, Y, Z, Z, Y.
Yeah, Zizzy.
It says Zizzy.
It does.
I always just pronounce X, Y, Z, Z, Y myself. I didn't pronounce it Z, Z.
Yeah. Ooh, there's something there.
You are in a debris room filled with stuff washed in from the surface.
Oh.
A low, wide passage with cobbles becomes plugged with mud and debris here. But an awkward canyon leads upward
Ooh.
west. A 3-foot black rod with a rusty star on an end lies nearby.
You must, of course, take everything.
Of course, because
Do we have any limitations
this
on
is the
inventory? We
original-
might only be able to get 8 things. I'm not sure.
We'll find out.
So I'm trying to find my way to a snake, but I can't.
You're in a room filled
It's
with
a
debris.
tire.
It is. Well, they
Awkward
said it was
canyon
full of
leads to the
debris.
west.
Yes, but it's modern. I always thought this was old.
Ah.
It's been dragging
Well,
me
it
now.
got updated.
All right, so I am seasick.
I thought you
So
would
that will be the end of this game.
I see. This didn't work for him.
Escape, save game.
Honestly.
And quit. So that is as much this game as I can play.
Oh, that was,
I
yes.
scored 32. I'm a rank amateur. Next game. Obviously a rank amateur. Better luck
Yeah.
next time.
Well,
So that is Roberta and Ken's remake of Colossal Cave Adventure that cost them a fortune. They spent more money on that by far than we did on Road Redemption. We spent 5.5 years in that game.
yeah. I get vertigo watching people play first-person shooters too. Well, this one's in particular. I mean, even I was feeling like, I can't believe Corey's managing to do this because...
Well, I can't.
Oh, okay.
So I will go and throw up now and you can continue the conversation.
I see.
I'll take a couple times.
Ah, okay, fine. So,
When's
yes,
my
we
cup?
didn't even kill a wampus or find the snake.
I was trying
or
to find the
anything.
snake. I didn't manage to find the snake. I know there's a snake in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And-
there's also a bird.
My memory, now I of course had the original Colossal Cave
Yes.
completely mapped out
Yes.
on paper.
Right, so his
But-
memory of how to move around is lost
I
on
know
this,
where
yeah.
everything is, but I've lost the ability to navigate in this version.
Well, yeah. Yes. So, yeah, it's not the game for us. It's not the game for Corey. I could have played it longer. But he can't look at... I mean, but even I was having problems with that thing. I imagine that other people have that problem, too. It's interesting. So, any rate, yeah. You're like how we are with your games. We know where everything is in your games. Yes, you know it better than we do. Exactly. Whereas we know where things, or a lot of things in Colossal Cave, but not in that version, yes. Guess I won't be buying that game, regardless of sales. Yes, you have to have a strong stomach and ability to stand that.
So my first introduction to Advent, or Colossal Cave Adventure, I'd gone to a street fair in Westwood, West Los Angeles, and I think that was where I got that Einstein print that we had for a while. And wandered up the road to UCLA, and at the Engineering and Science Building, they had an open house. And they had all these teletype machines with papers scrolling down them, and they were talking about this thing called the ARPANET that they were connected to. And they had games. They had Greenblatt's chess that I played a little bit of chess on. And then the other one had this weird game called Advent, and someone had me go through a bit of it. You didn't like it? I was impressed. Yes, I am impressed. But, oh, no, Belixar. Yeah. The game is beautiful. It's much harder to play than the original. The original, you just typed commands in, and your directions were clear because it would tell you there's a passage to the west, there's, something above you, and so on.
Yes, this is Roberta's game. She made this game in this
She made the
3D
remake.
this 3D version. She did it. It was all her brainchild.
And that was all inspired by her memory of the original Colossal
Yes.
Cave that she had played as her very first
Yeah.
adventure game.
The graphics were lovely, but that first-person shooter kind of game gives me vertigo. Even worse, because this is giving you claustrophobic vertigo. I mean, honestly, you could feel like you had to be crawling through those things. And having been in a cave a couple of times, and the only time I've ever had a sense of claustrophobia was when I was in a cave with a bunch of other people, and we had to go up a shaft. And I kind of got stuck because I'm short, and I could not reach the next foot point, and they had to actually push me up that thing.
Oh my.
Well, push me up at least so I could reach the dumb 1 foothold that was there. And yeah. So yeah, you got claustrophobia and that motion sickness going on there.
Whereas I had a similar problem trying to scuba dive off Maui.
Yeah.
And I immediately got terrified that I was inhaling a little bit of water and I was going to, getting a deep breath of water, and so I had to surface. I couldn't swim with my scuba gear on.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't really scuba. It
Whatever.
was.
It was scuba gear. Or no, it was snorkeling.
Snorkel.
Snorkeling.
Snuba.
You did snuba. You did snuba. I did snorkel.
Yeah. But then again, the only time I felt fear of heights was going up a ladder at a mile high. We were up on the top of a lookout point that we had to climb up the mountain up the ladder to get to the lookout point, and I don't remember how long that ladder was, but it was like 2 stories to climb the ladder. That one was bugging.
So anyway, my first introduction to Advent, I played a ways through it with a UCLA student hovering over my shoulder, and we got to a dragon, and he said, "Well, what do you suppose you do with a dragon?" And I said, "I don't know, slay dragon? Well, how are you going to do that?" And sure enough, the game says, "What? With your bare, slay dragon, what? With your bare hands?" And that's one of the big spoilers, and he told me the spoiler there, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I'd ever would have figured it out without that. Probably. But the directions are very obvious in a text adventure. They tell you where the exits are.
Yes.
And in fact, that was a command in the games, I think, exits, but I never used it. You just type a look.
And the first time I played a computer game, quote unquote, real computer game, was Advent on his computer when I came over to visit.
Yeah, I got the PC version of it on my the CPM version on my S100 bus computer.
Yes, Lorelei. I met Lorelei and then was trying to do that stupid game on Lorelei, and of course I had no clue how to play a computer game or how to work a computer, since they didn't have those in my college years. You see.
I had computers even in high school.
Yeah.
Well, we had something. We had desktop calculators that were essentially computers.
And Arlo, when he was in Scotland, he climbed through a siege tunnel. Invaders had carved under a castle with your back out. That's the worst part. You entered at your own risk, and they wouldn't save you if you got stuck. Yeah. Well, my sole real caving experience was with a small natural cave that was in Arizona. Yeah. When you Google Colossal Cave, the first thing that comes up is apparently there really is a Colossal Cave in Mountain Park. Yeah.
Is that in Tennessee or?
I don't know, but I believe that's why
that was what inspired it.
Yes.
So when I was an exchange student in Germany in high school, we went on a class trip to Rome, Italy, and then went on a side trip where we got to go through some catacombs, and that was really interesting. You think you're going through these big caves, but no, it's really narrow passages, and then basically there are all these alcoves cut into the walls, which is where they put the bodies, because this was basically a burial ground.
Actually, they didn't take the bodies if it was a true catacombs. They buried the bodies on the surface in mass graves, and then they take the bones after they had...
Oh, just the bones?
They were ossuaries.
Well, that sounds like the reason for a certain scene, a certain sequence in Hero You Road to Redemption.
What do you know?
When you have to take the bones back to the ghost.
Yeah.
But the catacombs are like places, it's not just, nice right turns and stuff like that. It's, it's organic like the cave we were just exploring here. And there's one place where went 3 ways, all, like 15 degrees apart. So they're all forward, left, right, and center. And then it rapidly branched out again several more times. And it would be trivial to get lost in there and just not be able to find your way back out. And that was part of the idea. They did it so that was it the early Christians that did the catacombs?
No, not really.
I think so. So that the Romans soldiers would not be able to find them.
Where was this?
This was outside of Rome. It was in Italy.
Rome was past the Christian Roman era, or it was when they were building the real catacombs. It was post that time.
All right, so I speak from ignorance, but it was a very interesting experience.
And especially the French one. I'm talking about French, the history of the catacombs in the French, that they were all, and then somebody was hired to stack them all, and they didn't just dump them, they could stack them. You could hide a knight's tomb with an inscribed shield down there. Exactly.
No doubt.
I mean,
well, you could have hidden anything in that colossal cave because I had the same problem I have. So basically, my 3D perception is fine in real life. But in games, so-called 3D games, you are looking at a flat screen and it's supposed to represent a 3D perspective. I don't see it. I see it as flat. And so when I go through the caves in World of Warcraft, I cannot get any context of where the openings are and where the walls are and so on. I bump around a lot. And in that game there, basically I could not tell where I could walk and where were the exits. Mm-hmm. And I kept trying to go through those debris piles and it kept stopping me. So evidently that was a place where I was not supposed to go.
But you can't tell.
But who could, how can you navigate in there if you can't tell where the openings are?
Yeah, in terms of game design, I shouldn't be able to see beyond the debris unless there is a way to get past that debris to the other area. And so I don't know if I, whether that's part of the gameplay or whether it's just, the artist slash programmer for this that doesn't consider those things important.
And when we were doing Heroes Quest for Glory, we had looked at other adventure games and played several of them. And one of the things that Lori didn't like was in Leisure Suit Larry 2. There was a place where basically you got stopped at the end of the road. It was just a block, and she said, "We can't do that. You have to have something visual as an obstacle if your character is not allowed to walk there."
Right.
So all through the forest in the Spielberg area, we have bushes and trees and so on that block your way.
Yeah, sometimes it isn't obvious where the entrances and exits are, but at least it's obvious that there's a reason why you can't go some places because there's physically a stop there. Again, it's all into the idea that this is trying to emulate real life as much as possible so that you feel like that, you're not thrown out by the artificiality of things. Yes.
Well, Lori was talking earlier about discouraging players from doing things that don't really make sense in the game. You remember the first playthrough there, we got to Baba Yaga's hut and turned her into a frog, and then the game immediately took us to the castle, and that was because we consciously thought about, well, the player could walk to the castle, but A, that's not very exciting, and B, they can do all sorts of things that won't really make sense in the context of having set off the big bad. So we just took you immediately to the end game.
You guys did everything you could do at that point in time, so yay you.
Yep. The reason we didn't have the full score, so we should have had a way to, get a text interface
we didn't
with
have that at that time.
All the puzzle points, but we know some of the things we didn't fight every single monster and so on.
We could debug this by going in and look at the count, with the manual, the hint book things and that's how you did it in those days, is you read the hint books or you bought the hint line thing and asked them, and or you did what Corey did, was try to go through all the...
that was actually in the... Okay, Colossal Cave, in between the time when I first discovered it at UCLA, and Lori found on my personal computer, somebody converted it to a computer I used at GIAC. Would you like a Kleenex?
No, that's okay. That's high notes.
She has her little dry sneezes. I thought you were commenting on my retelling a story yet again.
Yet again.
And so I played through the 350-point version, I think it was, of Advent on the GIAC 8000 computer. Use GIAC 800.
I'll have you know that those game facts destroyed the designer's income. Yes, really. That's how we made all our big bucks, at least initially from
those hint books. And we heard from Al Lowe at one point that he made more money from the Leisure Suit Larry 1 hint book than he made from the game.
Yep.
Part of that was because he negotiated a sweetheart deal with Ken and got essentially all the royalties from the books.
Yeah.
All the income. So anyway, I was 1 point short. I got 349 out of 350 in Adventure, and it drove me crazy. And I talked to the guy who had converted it to ZOPL, GX language, and he sent me a 9-track mag tape so that I could debug it.
Right.
and get that one point.
Yes, that's how you had to play these things.
So you can figure how frustrated I am by having 486 out of, or 484 out of 500.
Right, and you can't debug it, yes. And yes.
And I'd have to play it again to get more points. Ew.
The internet killed the whole
Internet
market.
killed the radio star?
It killed the market for hint books. Because who wants to buy a hint book when you can look it up online? So, I agree, because if a game needs if I'm stuck on a puzzle, I do not want to have to go to a hint book. That's why I don't play those games, because I can't take it.
So nearly every night after we go to bed, or before we go to bed, but just after midnight, we'll sit down and do Wordle and Connections together in the New York Times game site. And on Connections, we'll usually get a row or two ourselves, and then sometimes we just automatically get the rest of it. But sometimes we have 2 rows of words, 8 words left, and we just have no idea how they connect.
Connections is a group of random words that you try to find.
I'll bring it up.
Well, we did it, though. Don't look if you play Connections.
Uh-oh. New York Times Games Connections.
Because we played this game.
I played it on the computer?
You played it. Oh,
Should've done it on my phone.
Yeah, you did it on your phone.
That means, nope, we did it on the computer.
Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, can't show it, or
this
will.
part I can show.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, so this is where we got on this morning's Connections. Is first 2 rows, no problem. 3rd row, we guessed at something and it wasn't quite right. We had
the right category.
We knew the category.
You're trying to find the category that connects the 4 words.
And so we had the category right, but we had there were 5 words that could have fit, and we guessed wrong.
Yes.
And then I figured it out and said, "Oh, I know this thing here that we didn't pick. That's actually one of those." So that gave us the blue category. And then we had 4 words left, and we stared at them for 10 minutes.
You have the 4 words. It's like, okay.
We can win the game right now by clicking those 4 words, and it'll tell you, "Yay, you won!"
But we had no clue what the category was that connected these things. Yes, it's actually a pretty clever game, especially if you like puzzles that involve clever connections. So, what?
We didn't do this one apparently.
Oh, I thought we did.
I think we did.
We did a different one. We did the bigger one.
No, we did the mini. Oh, we did.
We did a bigger one, yeah.
So they have a game called the Mini, which is a mini crossword.
All right.
Yeah, this is kind of fun.
Okay.
You have only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cross clues and 5 down clues.
Okay.
With 4 down, popular mint brand, and hint to this puzzle's 3 in a row, and it's a 3-letter word. And 4 down says C1 across.
Oh, good.
What kind of mints are there? I don't know.
Spearmint. With 4 down, 1 across.
So
3
scroll in a synagogue. Would that be the Talmud? No. There is.
that
So
word?
we should know this.
Yes.
I'm not very Jewish. Love to bits. Official is a body of. I know that one. That's canon.
Yay! Yes.
So you can put it in canon.
Yes, we got a word.
It says French fashion monograms since 1962, and that's like LIV or something like that, but I'm not quite sure. Might be LIV.
1 down is.
If you double click, it'll turn you down. Blank, you are you. That is truer than true. There was no one alive who was youer than you. What's the first word?
I don't know, because that's an older. That's one of the later.
I don't know that one.
Yes.
Blank, you are you.
It's truer than.
So anyway, this supposed. Oh, it is LVM. They said. So with the help of our friends, we can get these.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's how we. But then we have an
appliances. That's okay. That is not the right answer because de-wrinkling appliances are going to be irons. So this has to be an S. And
you have an N over there. You have an N in the wrong place. Oh.
Okay.
We're going O's. O's are in there. 3 in a row. It said. So we have 3 O's.
So there must be another French fashion monogram since 1962, which one could research, but yes, definitely looks like
hen. 5 down is hen.
So the answer is Tic Tacs.
Ah.
Tic and it automatically remembered the I. So
Okay.
and now we can go to four
down.
down.
It's tack. Okay.
Is tack. Tic Tacs, popular mints.
Okay.
And a hint to this puzzle is 3 in a row, which is tic tac toe.
Oh.
So we know this letter is O, and the answer is not Talmud. It was
It's
Torah. Torah.
Yes, that was it. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're getting
we can
this.
Get to 1 down. I'll bet you guys are just totally excited with this.
Yeah.
2, you are you.
I should try these.
Today, you are you. That's truer than true.
Yeah. Okay, that's as good
We
as.
can try it and see.
The nice thing about this is that you can erase these things. If you ever did the crossword in books.
Love to bits is adore.
Adore.
So I used to say, when is a door not a door? When it's a jar.
jar. All right, 3 down.
And somebody said it was actually YSL, not LVM.
Carol.
They're probably both
Carol.
French brands.
So.
Oh, we solved it accidentally.
Oh well.
Viola games, show your score. Back to puzzle.
There.
Okay, so Carol we filled in and YSL. So we would have gotten YSL because today just made sense in there, even though we don't remember the quote. Today you are you, that is truer than true. There was no one alive who was youer than you. And hen.
Yes, I was saying hen.
What's a hen weigh?
Yeah. About 3 or 4 pounds. Yes.
No bird.
Uh-huh.
So some of these are easier than others. This is just a mini password and they have your time at the top. 3 minutes, 11 seconds is probably a terrible amount of time for this.
Well, sounds like the music for online casinos in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
There might be a correlation between it because they want you to be addicted to playing these suckers.
So the other game we play every day, hi, we're doing a great job on today's puzzle, and otherwise it'll tell you. Don't look at that.
Unless you want to, you don't.
So our statistics, I have played 685 Wordle games. Maybe more than that, because for a while I played some on my phone and some on the computer until finally got a New York Times account and they combined the scores. I have a 99 win percent. My current streak is 92 games won. My maximum is 93. So I need to win 2 more games to beat my previous. OSU Brainiac first got to show her a copy of UHS, Universal Hint System, right after he beat the Fool's Errand on my own. With
That was a tough game.
Lori and I beat the Fool's Errand.
Yes.
And I went back to it more recently. I actually bought another copy of it so I could play it on a PC. And I got all the way up to the sun's map, and I couldn't solve the sun's map. I know I had done it before, but this time I just couldn't make the connections to get the sun's map to work.
So, at any rate, yes, the games we play.
So when I click
Wordle,
on
connections,
share
and wow.
on this, let me just hide that for a second.
Cliff's website is down currently. Not sure what's up. Oh, well, that's too bad. Was there a thing called Hints Unlimited, or am I thinking of the Universal Health Hint System too? Had the floppies back in the 90s to help with all these hard Sierra games. Oh, no, cool.
Okay, so all you can see about my my Wordle on here is the green line here, which says 206, and that says that I solved it in 3 turns this time. On average, it takes me 4, but we do get more 3s than 5s.
Yes.
1s, of course, scarce and hen's teeth. I have it right here. I have 2.
Yes, it tells you.
2 1s, 44 2s, 206 3s, 272 4s, 114 5s. And 39 6s, and about 4 or 5 or 6 misses.
So, what is Wordle? Wordle is the game that we play for picking locks in or
it is Word
disarming
Mastermind.
traps.
Word Mastermind.
Disarming traps and Road to Redemption.
Yes.
It is trying to figure out the word for 5.
The interface is a little different, but
yes.
yeah. Basically, what you do is you guess a 5-letter word. Type in any old 5-letter word, and essentially to solve this here.
No.
If I thought about the screen. And it will show you a green if the letter is correct and in the correct position, and a yellow if the letter belongs in the word but not in that position. And
so
then you guess another word. I only play in hard mode, and that means that once I've found a letter, I must use all the letters I found. I can't just do a completely random word to get more information. And sometimes that means I get stuck. I've had ones where I've had 4 letters and tried to guess the 5th letter, and just I have to use the 4 letters, so I try each
So if
possible
you
word.
get something like OUNC, if it was possible, then you could have bounce or trounce, or you could just, if you are down to the 1 letter, there are some words that you can
Some
keep
words that there are like 8 possibilities.
Yeah.
And they said they try to avoid those, but no. What is my starting letter? Starting guess, not starting letter. Okay, so we play regularly with Gene Dvorak, who wrote the Magister Keep books, and
is our fan. And
as a fan, but also a professional writer, former school teacher, who has her games feature Mortuai and Jameis and Wim, just as Hero You Road Redemption. And she always starts with the word Earth.
Right. She's consistent, and, once in a blue moon, so she's one time gotten that as the word.
As the word.
First, so she's done it in 1.
And as you can see, twice I got it in 1 but my words are random.
Yes.
And in particular, because Earth did come up last year, I would not use Earth because I know I can't get it in 1. Can't get lucky.
But our rules are finding a word that has the many vowels as possible.
Well,
and
usually exactly 2 vowels.
my theory of how I play this game is
plays.
try to get the S and the T and the R as soon as possible, words with STR and 2 vowels, so that we can, get rid of those most common letters. And so that's my strategy.
So either they're in them because they're the most common letters, or if they're eliminated, that's really helpful because you have fewer choices.
Yeah. I think the game there is we didn't get anything but 1 letter out of place the first guess.
Yeah, I think the first one,
I mean, we could go back to this and we could check ad.
Let's go
Or
check
like
it.
the webcam. So
Webcam.
we don't want you guys who will actually play this get
get
spoiled. Yes.
Okay, our first. Lori provided the first word this time, and it was a pretty common first word, and we had no hits.
Yes, no hits.
And then, and in particular, it meant that her vowels weren't in it.
Eaton is a good one, I think. Double letters are possible. Yes. Yes, it is true.
Yeah, but if it doesn't hit, you've wasted 2 turns.
2 letters. Yes, you've wasted 2 letters.
WordleBot used to recommend Slate. Least is its favorite now. Least is the WordleBot recommendation.
Huh.
And that has to do with having the same letters as Slate, but in the more common places.
Oh, really?
Yeah, words often
So
end with
least?
ST. Least.
Really?
Yeah.
It's better than slate. I would have guessed slate because the T.
They're the same letters.
Yes, but the E's on the end.
In the
and
end.
how many words end with an E is very
So Eaton is not a very good word because if there's an E, that's great. You've checked down 2 positions. But if there's no E, then you've wasted 2 guesses instead
And
of 1.
usually the common places for E's would be second letter or last letter. So yeah.
There's a third word, steel, I use sometimes, S-T-E-A-L, or you could also use stale, S-T-A-L-E. So there are at least 4 anagrams of slate
that you could
start
use
with.
and it would give you more information.
Same letters, and any of those is good.
But it's a free game.
Yeah, I did use 1 word for the first several weeks I played this. I always used atone. And then I started mixing it up a little, and a couple weeks later, atone was the word.
Yeah.
When I hadn't chosen it as my starting word.
Right.
But I decided that was a bad idea because matching vowels isn't as useful as you'd think.
Yes, getting the consonants is actually pretty useful.
Yeah.
So that's we recommend you try that game out if you like puzzles, and you guys.
It is nytimes.com/games/Wordle.
Yep. And as it's free, it's something you can do every day.
I could do this.
You could.
There's the full link. And what I like about it is a game you can only play once a day.
Yes.
And it takes about 5 minutes. If it really gets stuck on, it might take you 10. And as opposed to doing a crossword that takes you like a half hour or an hour, that this is a game that you're in and out of very quickly. We can play it for a few minutes and, get our little, ETAOINS is the way I learned it. However, that is over the entire dictionary or, norm printed words. It is not necessarily correct for the specific thing that Wordle is 5-letter words. So 5-letter words might have a slightly different order. For instance, part of why T and E are so common is the most common word in the English language.
So therefore, those throw off the statistics.
And that is not a 5-letter word.
Italin Shurdlu.
Yeah, I had a D&D character named Italin Shurdlu. He rolled all 8s and 9s for stats.
And so he was dead average.
Yeah.
And so he
It was so boring. It was the most boring character I'd ever made. The one DM said, "Oh, you should re-roll that." And then another one said, "Yeah, keep it and see what we can do with it."
But then he named him.
I named him Italin Shurdlu.
Which was the order.
Because he was the very common character.
Yes, you could put the Italin Shurdlu. So that was the common word order at that time.
Yeah, those are the 12 most common letters in English.
In order.
In order, but not necessarily in 5-letter words.
Right.
So anyway, a tone is pretty good. A lot of former Sierra people used audio as their starting word.
Arlo says he liked this remake of Colossal Cave. Even the reviews are saying it's nothing groundbreaking, but honestly, it's a good, solid interpretation of the game. It just has the irritating things that would bug me.
Yeah, she kept many of the original things from the game, so that you could not. Okay, remember, or maybe you don't remember, but when they did Advent, the parser only recognized 6 letters, which is why ADVENT. Yeah, and in fact, most file names at that time could only be 6 letters. So Advent was the name of the game rather than Adventure. The commands, only the first 6 letters were parsed, so if you had 2 words that had the same first 6 letters, it would have no one of them. And it only understood 2-word commands. So basically you could say light lamp, but you could not say turn on the lamp because it could not do 4 words.
Right, so yeah.
So I want to say look at the book, and you couldn't do that. Now, this was point and click, so therefore you couldn't do that anyway. But I was really surprised. The look icon, I really thought if I moused it over an object that it would describe the object, but it didn't. It always gave me the room description.
Right, so
The
that bugs me.
original room description had a terse and a verbose mode. And in verbose mode, it would give you all the information every time.
But yes, every time you looked at something, it would give you that.
It would give you the complete description of the room. In terse mode, and maybe that still works. I don't know that I didn't look at the menu. Maybe there was a terse. Terse mode would know if you've already looked at that room, and if you had, then it would say well house or rough passage, rather than give you the full description of the room. But it also added on all the objects that were there and all the exits.
Yeah, so it would bug me. I didn't like Myst either, for that matter, if we're talking about games. But if I look at something in a room, I want to know what that something is. And having the voice actor have to be the performer for the thing limits what you could do with it. Whereas you could just put a text message saying, okay, that's a piece of trash that somebody left behind, giving the player the clue that, no, it's not interesting. But otherwise, I'd try to pick up some things because, it's something in the environment that might be interesting. Or, in the case of that trash can at the beginning of the thing, plus the sign is, don't litter here, I wanted to pick up the trash and take it to the trash can because to that would be the way to do it.
Okay. So when I looked up English language letter frequency, I actually got more information than I wanted. It told me the most frequent letters are E, T, and A. The most common bigrams, 2-letter combinations, T, H, H, E, I, N, E, N, etc. Most common trigrams. So I wrote a thing called CCCT or something like that. There was Corey's cryptogram something that would let you encrypt and decrypt things. And the solving part of it didn't work very well, never worked. But I tried to basically use the letter frequency in that, and that didn't do me much good. They have things like that on the web now, and they are dictionary based. So what they'll do is they'll try all sorts of
Oh, the
arrangements.
top answers from ChatGTP. This is
And
true.
I don't always trust AI.
But it does
This
tell
is,
you where it's getting its
This
information.
is Bing, yes, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Microsoft now has AI built into essentially everything in Windows 11. And I'm told by a friend that it dramatically slows down his computer. And I have noticed things working slower the last week or so, so that I may have that same issue. Letter frequency in 5-letter words. Okay, most common letters in 5-letter words.
From letter frequency in English, words rated, so this is not just the ChatGTP thing.
This is our analysis of more than 8,600 words with 5 letters. Shows in order of frequency, the most common letters are S, E, A, O, R, I, L, T, N, and D.
That's interesting.
So they're quite different.
Yeah.
They're all letters that were in Italian Shortlu, but they're
in
now in a
order.
different order.
Oh.
So S is now the most common letter. E and A and O, Italian was still E, A, and O, but now I is further down the list than it was.
Okay. Well, that's very interesting, but it is 4:30.
Well, yeah, but we could run till 4:35. I don't mind going
fine.
a couple minutes
Yeah,
over.
I'm just letting you know, because
Yep.
you're the one with the time limit.
So yes, you have to take into account context. Because the 3-letter words are very common in English, they skew the frequencies. So anyway, with CCCT, I tried to do a solver thing. I did like Caesar ciphers, where you rotate around the alphabet 3 letters or 6 or whatever each time, and cryptograms, and you could do simple substitution ciphers.
So we used the spider code in Road to Redemption.
Yeah,
and
Lori-
that was the holdover. That was the Easter egg kind of thing, because we had that in the original.
Yeah, there is a
website.
sign on the wall of the
road classroom.
road classroom that's encrypted, and that is encrypted with the spider code, and that was actually invented by Michelle Baker, Lori's co-author on How to Be a Hero, Lori used it on the rogue section of the How to Be a Hero website.
Yeah, so on the How to Be a Hero website, we actually had coded instructions and things like that, and had everybody.
And students had to go figure out what the code was
Right.
and respond back in code. So I wrote CCCT so we could very easily
solve what,
translate,
yes,
solve what people sent
it
us.
solved cipher, Caesar's code.
And of course, but it also did substitutions.
Yeah.
But of course, the more clever students developed their own encryption
And
scheme.
it turned out there was one
And-
on the internet that they could stripe to. So
we
therefore-
weren't very good at it.
So anyway, that was Quest for Glory. I mean, Heroes Quest 1. So you want, well, Heroes Quest.
Oh, it's
so
Heroes
you
Quest.
Want, yes, so you
Heroes
want
Quest. So you want to be a hero.
That was it from start to finish. And next time we meet in 4 weeks, because we're not here the next time.
I think in 4 weeks, I suggested we might be talking about our trip.
Well, we will, but we will be playing a game. You stupid thing. 4 weeks.
What are you trying
I'm
to do?
trying to get
go
down to
counter
the,
down to the bottom.
calendar, but I couldn't do it on that one. 1, 2.
Yeah, it's the first is 2 weeks. That's
15, yeah.
We are not meeting here on the 1st.
We are meeting here on the 15th, and I think we'll start Trial by Fire.
You bet one back to back. Yes. June 15th. And that will be the beginning of summer.
Yes.
June 22nd or June 21st is the beginning of summer.
Right. So we'll have.
So we will be coming into summer with Quest for Glory 2, Trial by Fire.
Which is
and
appropriate.
going into the desert.
Yes.
Shapiro and Rasir.
So it'll be perfect timing. And then we'll spend until winter probably, but trying to solve that one, because it's a longer game.
So we're flying into Sofia, Bulgaria, and spending a day there, and then cruising up the river on this fancy riverboat.
We're going through all these countries that we normally wouldn't think of ever going into, because this cruise/trip is with a college, and they're giving lectures and teaching you about the art styles and things like that. And it was like, my gosh, we're going to get a college education while we're doing this trip. I'd be bored if I just had to, go see sights. I want to learn things.
So I just got the list of all the passengers. I noticed there were a whole bunch from Brown Travelers. I said, is that is that a black group that travels?
I see.
No, it was Brown University.
Yeah.
And they're apparently sponsoring or co-sponsoring this trip. It's with AHI Travel.
Okay. But it is a college-sponsored trip, and it's got college alumni, the people that actually have some money and things like that, apparently. Because not that we have money, but, but it is all about education and getting to go places that you normally wouldn't get to go to. And, my first 2 trips were with them. Cool. I love them. Great.
Oh, really?
Oh, you're going to show that?
Great.
Yeah.
This is the Grand Danube Passage. And that price seems very reasonably, except that's per person double occupancy and doesn't include the airfare. And by the time we were done, it was a pretty big number.
Yeah, this is what we're going to see.
Those are some of the...
Look at that. Isn't that wonderful?
And Lori will be taking her camera, and that's of course, her major goal.
Right. The reason I take...
those blues.
Yes. It keeps me occupied, so I'm not bored with just, standing around looking at something.
Mild to moderate activity.
Yeah.
So
we have natives, people, guides that will give, who know the place and things like that. So it's a very cool thing. One dream is dream.
Days 1 and 2.
You'll leave Shapir in January. Yeah.
This is the reverse trip.
Oh, really?
Oh, this is the one starting in Prague. This is the reverse of what we're doing. We're ending in Prague.
We're ending in Prague, and this is the inverse. And
Slovakia. Bratislava, Slovakia. And we'll go to Vienna. I lived for a short time in Vienna, Virginia, actually, when I was a baby.
Ah, yes.
And Lori was not too far from there.
No.
She was in Steubenville, Ohio.
Steubenville. I was born in Steubenville because my parents had lived in Wellsburg, West Virginia.
Wellsburg, West Virginia.
Yes, Arlo says that's actually a trip I was thinking of doing with backpacking through a Europe trip, but didn't go to all the places I wanted and didn't want to spend my entire time on a boat. Yes, this has a lot of off time. That's the other thing.
So because we're no longer young kids and we didn't do this, when we could have, when we were in our 20s, 30s, we decided that getting a package tour would be a good idea.
Yes, and Belzar says, yes, I hope things are okay in Slovakia, considering that their leader just got shot. Yes, that's...
Well, it will be exciting.
Yeah. We were in Barcelona just as they had the vote to have the...
that was the same cruise where Arlo Hero had his little encounter with the... I thought it was a 15-year-old last time. The 16-year-old girl whose mother yelled at me to go back to my country because I wouldn't sleep with her.
Ah, okay.
Well, at my age, if I sleep with a 15 or 16-year-old, yep, that's what I'll be doing.
Yeah. So at any rate, thanks so much, everybody. We'll tell you about our trip when we get back. We will see you in 4 weeks.
There will gradually be, you really should be looking at Lori's Facebook, which we've advertised our Discord and we've advertised our Patreon, but we haven't really advertised the Facebook.
Yes, if you're still on that archaic medium, and
we can probably search
there's
for Lori
me.
Cole.
Yeah, you can go to my homepage.
Okay, here is Lori's Facebook page. Mine's boring, but here's Lori's.
Yeah,
and
what is a
every
Facebook?
day, every day, Lori posts.
Yes, I try to post a new photograph every day.
There's a mural that she took a close up of part of the mural. And there's a little still life she created with a bouquet and one flower fallen.
Yep.
I'm supposed to like everything you do.
You are supposed to like everything.
I do that in order because of Facebook's algorithms.
So I always have photographs every day. I try to put a new photograph up there.
Now it is interesting that I mostly use likes on these, but I pay absolutely no attention to when people like my content.
Yeah.
I'm interested in comments. I don't care about likes.
Right, yep. I want to see how many people actually get to see it because their algorithms are really screwy. Yes.
What? Apology?
It's this.
To say sorry.
Yeah.
This is in Balboa Park in San Diego. There's a statue in the middle, and trying to get the right light on these and the right angle is a challenge.
But yes, I do a photograph a day, even if you don't, you know.
This is when she was on a budget and had to use the black and white film.
Right. I generally do a lot of photo manipulation on
So growing up, my father was so cheap that he didn't use black and white film. He made Kodachrome slides. Everything was on slides, and that he would only print the 1 or 2 shots that were really exceptional.
That's because that was a time when...
But, you know, we had a slide projector, and he would periodically bring out the pull-down screen in the living room and bring out the slide projector and show us his slides. What's that?
That's the zoo. I mean, that's the
Safari Park, yes. Yeah. San Diego Zoo Safari Park, which is less than an hour from here.
And Safari Park has this section at the back of it that is a botanic garden of natural desert plants.
Well, Arlo, I'm very glad to hear you say that I will love AHI and you never had a bad experience with them because, you know, basically, as I was going through their brochures, they had another trip that sounded really fun. I have to tell you that, first of all, we didn't intend ever to go to this Eastern European trip. Lori's always wanted to visit the Greek Isles, and in order to do research for Quest for Glory 5. But we didn't make it at time because we were too busy either making games or being unemployed and having no money. So I said, okay, let's finally get to the Greek Isles. And instead we ended up starting out about, just a few hundred miles away from Athens and going up the river instead of down. But I went through and looked at their brochures. I said, oh, this bus tour of Western Ireland, coastal Western Ireland sounds really fun. So I signed up for the second trip with AHI before we had the first one.
Yeah. So
we have 2 trips planned later, this one coming up and another one in the fall.
So anyway, that's it for today.
This is San Juan Capistrano, which is only about a 20 or 30 minute drive from us, but feels like, you know, forever away. And we've been up there a couple times.
Anyway, as I said.
So
thanks everybody for showing up.
Yeah, thanks for streaming Sicilian Cheese, and thanks for watching it, because we wouldn't bother to do these streams if we didn't have people
have a great trip. Thank you, ICIC. And AHI is educational, and they also try to give you some flexibility. Like they'll give you free days to do as you please. Yes.
Yeah, we had choices on a few of the items. Yeah. And, we could go bicycling, and since my last experience with trying to take up bicycling again involved a lot of falling and not much movement, not much forward movement, I decided I really did not want to go to the bicycle part of the trip.
Definitely push yourself outside of your comfort zone. Push yourself to talk to the locals. Ooh, that's the scary one.
Find your way around the cities. You got the places they suggest for your free time. Yeah. We have, of course, been spending the last 8 months since we signed up for this studying Bulgarian and Czech. Oh wait, we haven't done any of that. We better hurry.
Yeah.
I went to Germany speaking no German. I discovered that a lot of the Germans spoke English.
So we're hoping that we'll manage to survive.
We're hoping we will survive.
Anyway, see you all next time. Have fun.
See you in
have 4
weeks. 4.
Have adventures. Have fun. And bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Be well. I don't remember how.